Do you feel like since 2015 time has felt like it's slowed down compared to life prior to retirement, just because you guys are having these novel experiences?
Yes, because everything you're doing, you're choosing to do. You're in charge of your time. And so we're doing what we enjoy most of the time during the day. And that makes it the time richer.
Is we chose to be experience rich.
Would you say these are the best years of your life?
Yes.
Yeah? Not even a
I would
hesitation.
never go backwards.
Yeah.
Never go backwards.
Welcome to Backpacker Radio, presented by The Trek. I am your co-host, Zach Badger Davis. Sitting to my right is...
Hi, I'm Juliana Chauncey, a.k.a. Chaunce.
Got a few reminders, got a couple of surveys that I'd like for you to know about. If you hiked the AT this year, 2025, and... Ooh, actually, this survey might be closed by the time Never mind, nix that.
Keep going, you got it.
Keep an eye out for the AT Thru-Hiker survey because that's going to be out in a couple of weeks. So thanks to everyone who filled it out, and it's too late for me to be promoting it. Good job, Zach. But another survey that is relevant to this is the Triple Crowner survey. If you've hiked the AT, PCT, and CDT, doesn't matter when you did it, doesn't matter if you've done it in section hikes or through hikes, northbound, southbound, that doesn't matter. If you're Triple Crowner, we want your 2 cents. The results for this survey, and this is the first time we're doing this, will be published on the Trek, and this will cover everything from what gear you used, your favorite and least favorite trails, what advice you'd offer to aspiring Triple Crowners, etc., etc. So link to get involved with that one is in the show notes. Next is, if you're taking on a long-distance trek in 2026 and you want to be part of the baddest team in the backcountry, we would love for you to be a Trek blogger. Some of the perks include being Jess Stone's best friend, a private Instagram group chat, gear discounts, an easy and fun to use platform, all the goodness. So if that sounds of interest, the link to apply is in the show notes. Lastly, but not leastly, if you enjoy this podcast and you want to support your Cinnamon Connection pals, you can do so. Patreon.com/backpackerradio. We run every episode there, advertisement free, and it's just a nice way to ensure that the wheels keep turning here at Backpacker Radio.
Yes, definitely. If you are a fan of the show and you like listening and you want to keep listening, join us on patreon.com. It is a nice way to be able to support the show for as low as $5 a month. That is not even a coffee these days. And yeah, I think advertising is hard, and it is just like, one of those things that we got to do. But if you want to help make it easier for us and listen to more Backpacker Radio and not have ads on it, you can do all 3 things just by being on Patreon.
Next time you wear that shirt for a podcast, let me know, because I have almost the same one. We could be twinsies.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, patreon.com. Okay, let's get to today's interview with Kristy and Annette Burns, who have tackled plenty of bucket list adventures, from through hiking the Triple Crown. Would love for you guys to take the survey. Yes. Arizona Trail and Tahoe Rim Trails, to RVing, cycling, kayaking, and most recently packrafting more than 300 miles in the Arctic. And they've done all these adventures fully retired. I'm getting notes here, aka the Wander Woman.
Yeah, that's how they're known. You got to call them the Wander Woman.
Yeah.
Wander Women.
Yeah, Wander Women. Kristy and Annette, thank you so much for joining us here on Backpacker Radio.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. I'm going to adjust some audio levels here.
I have a first question, just to interject.
Yes.
Because we met on the AT.
Yes.
I thought there were 3 of you.
Yes.
There were.
Did you guys lose a Wander Woman? Or was it the Wander Woman and a friend?
Yeah. Well, anybody that hikes with us is a Wander Woman.
Oh, okay. Was I a Wander Woman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But so Lynn, our friend Lynn, hiked with us on the AT, the PCT, and part of the CDT.
Okay.
And then we've had other friends join us at different times on those trips as well.
Okay. But you 2 are the core Wander Women.
We're kind of, yeah.
Yeah, at this point, yes.
The OGs.
When we retired in 2015, we hiked the Colorado Trail, and there were 4 of us, us 2, Lynn, and another friend, Carolyn, and that's when we started the Wander Women name.
Yeah.
So whoever joins us and hikes with us is part of the tribe.
Got it.
We're all inclusive.
Yes.
Annette, can I just have you grab the mic a little bit closer to, or drag it closer to you? Sorry, it's it's like
Okay,
full of
how's that?
mercury. It's very heavy.
This makes me have better posture.
Yeah, that's what the game's about. I have terrible posture, and I'm blessed with this mic that gives me terrible posture. Give us the origin story. How did you individually get into the outdoors?
Well, I don't. I didn't really consider myself to be like the super outdoor person, but I just like being outdoors. So I cycled a lot. I used to commute on my bike. Just like purely commute for years. So I was outside all the time. I grew up in Los Angeles County, and so I wasn't. That's not. You can be outside all the time, but it's not like super outdoorsy. But anyways, I just like being outside. So then the hiking and stuff kind of came naturally as I turned 20 in my teens, whatever. I started hiking.
And I grew up in a family that was outdoorsy, and we didn't have a lot of money, so you could afford camping and hiking, and so we would go out, not in campgrounds, just kind of boondocking different places with my dad and my brothers and my mom, and so we were always outside and outdoors. I kind of, in high school and college, got into basketball, so I wasn't really doing the outdoor stuff, but as an adult after college, I worked with juvenile offenders, did a lot of the ropes course, took them backpacking here in Colorado from Florida. I was in Florida at the time. And once I did that backpacking trip, I loved it. So I just kept backpacking. And we were working, so we couldn't do the thru-hikes. We always wanted to, but we would do every weekend. We would go out backpacking, or we'd take a week, or whatever we could, vacation we could do was usually a backpacking trip for us. We've been backpacking for 30, 40 years.
What's the ropes course?
That's that's where it's kind of recreation therapy, where you're belaying people, walking across wires, or you climb up a telephone pole and jump out on a trapeze, and you're roped in. But we were working with kids at the time, and so you're working on trust issues and things like that. So, but we took those kids also biking across Florida. We tried to do a lot of recreational therapy type stuff with them. And then we came here to Estes Park and did a backpack trip during that time. But then I just started saying, I got to just start doing my own wilderness stuff. And
Had you heard of the ropes course before?
Yeah, we did them at the camp I worked at. Okay. The high ropes courses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like rocks and ropes.
And where are you both from?
I was born in Washington State, but grew up in Pueblo.
Okay.
Huh.
And I was born in California, and I moved to Colorado when I was a senior in high school.
How did you guys meet?
My house, the backyard of my house touched a part of the backyard of Kristy's sister.
Oh, wow.
That's
and
how we met.
Kristy's sister, over the fence, invited me to do
Sweat lodge.
a sweat lodge. And who's going to say no to that?
Is that like a sauna?
Yeah, it's kind of like you build like a little wiki up, and you put a certain kind of granitic rocks in there, and you build a fire, and you throw sweetgrass on it, and you have the structure is covered with wool blankets and plastic. It's this whole big thing.
Isn't it like a little trippy?
And you get it gets really, really, really hot. I mean, it's like a serious.
So more ceremonial than a
so
sauna.
at the end of it was Kristy and I and the young woman who was leading the thing. We were the only ones left in there, and I was like, this woman's pretty tough.
Was there a competitive element between who would leave last?
No.
Just with myself, I thought I'm going to hang in here until I pass out.
It was remarkably hard.
Yeah.
So,
it's fun.
Yeah.
Does Pueblo have a reputation for being quirky? Like, are sweat lodges popping up everywhere?
Well, that was in Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Yeah. But actually, no. Those women that did that were from Fort Garland. And there used to be some pretty quirky communities that were, groups of people in Fort Garland, Colorado. I don't know if you ever go down there, but really?
Quirky,
you guys are missing out on
quirky
some
in what
stuff.
ways?
They're just kind of communal
Cults.
They're like hippies that found a place to be for, after the hippie era ended, they just kept going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool down there. It's really neat. Not Fort Lewis, San Luis, and on your back way to Tahoe, if you go the back way, all right, you go right through there.
Yeah.
You can do Blanca and Lindsay. All those mountains are in there. You guys got to get out more.
Yeah,
Apparently.
we're indoor cats.
They need to retire.
Yeah.
Would love to.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Should we?
Should we just retire?
Retire?
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
And what year was this that you guys sweat lodged?
That was like in 2003,
2? Yeah.
2002.
Yeah.
Something around-
2002.
A while ago.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
many years prior to the beginning of the joint thru-hiking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Walk us through the journey from meeting to finding the trails.
Yeah, but one of the remarkable things was when we first met and we were, walking and talking, and we both said, like, what would you really like to do? And I had just told my sister this. I had met her somewhere. I said, I really want to just walk the earth. And the exact same thing Kristy said to me. I really just want to walk the earth. And so we had that connection, that hiking, just the love of being out hiking.
And we were working, and so we just worked in our hikes between our job. I mean, we couldn't go out and do big long hikes. I had a private practice that I could not take that long. Annette had the summers off, but I couldn't take a long time off. And so when we decided to just retire and move on, we were just like, we got to get this. We have to make time to do the things we love to do before we get too old.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of made it happen. But we backpacked the whole time we were working.
Oh yeah, we used to have everything ready. I'd have everything in the car and just swing by and pick up Kristy from work and boom, get
Yeah.
off.
Mm-hmm.
So summers off, teacher?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of teacher?
I did it all, but I finished as a high school librarian. But I did elementary, I did middle, I did high school.
Which is the hardest grade to teach?
Well, they're all kids. The high school kids are just taller, but when you finish a day as an elementary teacher, you know that you are done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a full-on.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be present. You got to be like right there.
Yeah. I have 3 young ones myself, so I'm trying to prepare for like what ages are the scariest, but
They're all great. Kids are great.
yeah. And then you said private practice?
Yeah, so I was a therapist, mental health, and I specialized in infant mental health, birth to 5. So a lot of kids that were removed from homes. There would be a lot of court cases. I would testify in those court cases on how to preserve the child as they're dealing with parents that have problems. So I worked a lot with early childhood trauma. And I had older kids as well, but really kind of focused on trauma issues.
Yeah. Wow, that's heavy. So what's the philosophy for dealing with trauma at that age?
You're really, in infant mental health, you're really trying to preserve development and brain development. So if a baby is in crises, it's impacting their brain development. Stress hormones are released. And so you're trying to get a real safe environment. So when a baby's removed, you want to make sure they're in a safe environment, but they're also going with the parent and having visits, and you're trying to, as they're dealing with all of this, keep them stable enough that they are not in crises and that they're developing until the story unfolds for them as far as, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So a lot of times it was just really focusing on a stable environment while the parents are working out whatever their issues are and trying to keep that baby out of crisis.
Yeah. Is that one that's difficult to not take home with you after you're done with work?
I did pretty well. Kids are resilient, and I really focused on where they were going instead of what happened to them. But there were a couple of cases that were really difficult.
Yeah. And sorry, I know this is way off topic of what we're here for, but I guess what is the percentage of success stories? Like, are you able to help people the majority of times?
I think it's hard to know because it's hard to follow up. I've had some of the kids find me later in life, and they are doing well. There was a 3-year-old child who was burned. She was a real severe case, but she's got I think she's getting her master's degree, and I mean, possibly, she'll be doing whatever she decides to do, doing great. So It all depends, but I think the people that have reconnected with me are doing pretty well.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
Yeah.
You see them in their 20s, and you're like, wow, I had them at 3, you know?
Okay, so meet in 2003, start all the backpacking about 18 years later or so. Is there a motivation to stay in shape so you can take advantage of the free time once you're retired? Like, this is something I'm thinking about already, is like, I now train with keeping in mind that I still want to backpack when I do have the free time. Was that top of mind for you too?
Absolutely important.
Yeah.
We love to work out, to exercise. So it's always, we do something every single day just because we love it. So if it's, we just have continued to keep walking, cycle, lift weights. When we were working, we'd go to the Y, work out. We always believe that if we just keep moving, we will be able to for a long time. If we stop and start, it would be harder for us at this age.
Right.
So we just keep going. We always have a base. So we'll have a pretty good base. And then if we make a plan to do a big adventure, we'll start training harder, carrying our packs, whatever, kind of train for it. And we have a formula where when we start slow and build up. When you're older, you have to do things a little bit different. But we found a formula that worked for us.
Yeah, especially for the Thru-Hikes. Especially when we did the AT, I think that was our first. We had done the Colorado Trail, which is a hard trail. I mean, but it's not that kind of length. But we really worked it. We're like, okay, we want to have success here, so we're going to start slow. We're just going to do this like a job. We're going to do 15-mile days. Once we got going, we're going to take breaks. We're going to take lunch. We're going to
take rest days.
We're going to rest. We're not. If we get to if it's still daylight when we get somewhere, great. We're going to just relax, and we followed that. And weirdly enough, we stayed with like a big group of people that just stayed with us, even though they were doing longer days, but they must have.
We zero.
Yeah, they must have zeroed more. Or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. I don't know. But anyways, it's all part of that recognizing that you're not 25 or 30 or 45.
Yeah.
You kind of have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
When you guys are planning to do all these hikes and things in retirement, how far in advance prior to retirement are these conversations happening about, hey, here's something we want to do, and how do you plan for that? Like, for me, retirement feels like it's still so far away, where it's, hard to necessarily plan for something that far off. How do you take the steps to say, hey, this is what we want to be doing, and here's how far in advance we need to start working towards it? And what did that look like?
I wish we would have done more of that early on and made a plan financially to just say, hey, we didn't. We were just living and, we didn't come from wealthy families. We didn't have wealth. Neither one of us. Life has always kind of been a struggle. But I wish we would have known more. We talk about that all the time. But when we planned our retirement, Annette read. We used to meet at this bookstore downtown Colorado Springs, and she saw this book on the shelf called Die Broke. And we picked it up, and the first line was "Quit your job." But the whole point was, and we had gone to a financial planner and was talking about what you need to do.
Same day.
Yeah. So Annette said, "What if we do something totally different, and not live the lifestyle we're living now, and just
go minimalist,
and get an RV, travel, just free ourselves from the responsibility of a house." And when she said it, just struck me as what we're supposed to do. I just went, oh, God. Because you get caught up in life telling you what you should do. You need to get educated, get a job, get a house, raise your family, or whatever. You're told what you do. You furnish your house, you repaint the house. You're just doing these things. And that's successful. And we were like, oh, my God. My whole mindset changed. And I went home and I went, I don't even want this stuff. So we, at that point, made a 5-year plan to try to get totally out of debt and sell everything we own, get an RV, and hit the road. And so we did it in 4. And part of that was Annette. She could retire, but there was a package deal, and so she applied for it, and so it kind of depended if she would have gotten that or whatever. But we went through these steps. But we just spent that time getting ourselves out of debt. Making a plan. Then when we bought the truck and the RV, we said, okay, in 2 years we want this totally paid off, and we just started paying it off. We just made a plan. We need to pay this much a month, and we just did it.
But as Kristy said, it would have been great if we would have started when we were 25 or 30 and said, the big piece of this is going to be the finances, having enough money to do all this stuff and to do that. So
Invested
the
more.
way we compensated was like, oh, we're going to figure out how to live the absolute cheapest life that we can.
Yeah.
And that's what we have done.
Yeah.
And it's actually been really.
It's worked. I mean, and you get out of debt is a huge thing, because you're just in debt. Still had student loans. I still had a student loan I was paying.
Yeah.
You're paying the house, you're paying car, and anyway, we just simplified our life, and we realized that we value time more than money, and we're going to die. We're heading towards the end of our life. We're kind of slowly getting there, and we would rather, in that final chapters there, is to have experiences more than money, and so we'll just make it work. And we're fine.
Yeah,
we are fine.
I know Rachel had found a part of your YouTube where you were talking about meeting with the financial advisor, and that had stuck out to her. All three of us are like very into just that conversation in general.
Mm-hmm.
We all listen to, there's a podcast called the Money with Katie podcast that the three of us, me, Rachel, and Elise love.
Mm-hmm.
Elise lent me Simple Path to Wealth, which is a great book by J.L. Collins. So we're like a fascinated audience in terms of this type of content. When you say you wish, like, you wish you could have done things differently earlier, if you're talking to someone who is 25 or who is 30 or in my case 33, what specifically would you do differently if your goal in retirement was to do through hiking and stuff like that as a lifestyle?
I would have invested money sooner, don't you think?
Yeah, or like Nick. What's Nick's trail name? Yak, who set the record on the PCT.
Nick Fowler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has residual income because they have properties that they rent, and they have a whole thing, and so he lives on residual income, right? That's what he does. That's how he's out there. He's still relatively young. He's out there doing that. He even wears a T-shirt that says, "Teach your kids about residual income" or something. And that is very smart. I mean, we worked in professions that don't make money. Helping professions don't make a lot of money, and you have to. Although teachers do have a pension and stuff, and you invest in that, and that's good. That part is good. So, but there is so much you can do with hardly any money. If it's not like a money hang up. It's more, I think, the keeping yourself mentally in the game where you still believe that you can get out there. Like, oh, so what? So we're 60. We're gonna go, right? Doing this last trip that we did with the pack rafts on the Noatak, I was like, what are we doing? It was like really hard for me to get myself there, right? Mentally, to say, okay, wait, we got the pack rafts like a few weeks before we're doing the trip. We were out there in the Arkansas, just like okay, I think I've got the feel of it, and I'm whatever. I turned 68, right? So I'm thinking, okay, well, I can still do this. This is going to be great. We're going to do it. And just going ahead and doing it and not getting hung up on the fact like, hey, we might be the only 60 plus people out here. You're always the only 60 plus people out there. So, but just that piece, keeping that mental piece. And then, as you said earlier, working the physical, like stay in shape, like have a regular daily exercise plan that you do.
Yeah.
I was listening to this guy on a podcast, and he said that 70% of the people in America do not exercise. And he said it's a very small percentage of the people who have like an exercise plan that they follow regularly. And
I'm actually surprised to hear that it's even 30% of people. I would have guessed lower than that.
Yeah. Well, 30% of the people exercise.
Yeah.
Not that whole percentage has a plan, but at least they're doing some stuff, right?
Yeah. So, Annette, you mentioned you were 68?
Yes, right now, yes.
Yeah, and Kristy?
61.
61, okay. And what year did you retire?
2015.
15.
Yeah.
What was it like in the months leading up to the process of downsizing? Like, is that like driving toward a cliff, being uncertain? Like,
so
did
exciting.
I just make the craziest decision?
So exciting.
So exciting.
It's like, man, I was just so into it. Let me tell you, it felt so good to get rid of stuff. We were giving stuff away. We just opened our house and we had like yard sales, but then we were just take whatever you want. Just get it out of here.
Yeah, and
It just felt great. It felt free. I feel free.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like the first time in my life when we loved our jobs. We left loving our job. We
Yeah.
weren't like burnout. We just said we need to write a new chapter now. But when we get on that road heading out with total time, I felt rich and I felt totally free, like just in charge of my life.
Had you considered doing the practice part-time, like adventuring for 6 months out of the year and then no? It was just
Done.
you wanted the freedom.
I wanted the freedom. I wanted an open road in front of me to just head down.
Yeah.
And then we had a dog when we first started, and we kind of centered our what we did around the dog. But when she passed away, that's when we started doing the long trails. We were in Texas, and we did the Texas Long Trail, which is 100 miles, because we had to heal.
It's really fun, though.
And in the middle of that, I said, Lynn was with us. I said, "You guys want to do the Appalachian Trail?" I said, "A year from now," and they were like, Annette said, "Well, I'll give it a month and see how I feel." So that we made a plan at that point. And then, because I always wanted to do it, and we knew we would love being out for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Like a week was never long enough.
I feel like if you like hiking the Lone Star Trail, you really like backpacking
Yes.
because that's not necessarily the cream of the crop.
Oh, no. Even though it was fun.
It was fun, though.
But it was healing for us because it was March. We just put our dog down.
Died. It was heartbreaking.
And we needed to walk, and so we did that. It was great. But in that, we started planning our hikes, and I knew we would love it. But I worried about my body. I thought, I don't know if my body will hold up, so we'll just start small and just go. And I really can't believe how much stronger I am today than I was back in 2015 or whatever.
Wow.
I'm stronger today, and I'm older.
Yeah.
I'm 10 years older, and I feel stronger.
So you mentioned that you do specific training for, like, if you're going on a long hike, you're going to ramp up for that. But you also mentioned that you have got this standard base.
Mm-hmm.
Is the base like a formal plan, or is that just like we're going to be active for this many minutes of the day, or what does that look like?
It's not so set out time-wise, but we will walk every single day because we like to walk. So we'll walk or we'll hike, whatever is near us. Right now, we're cycling just because of where we're at. And we lift weights and we stretch. And before we started the Appalachian Trail, in that September before, in 2018, we did the Superior Trail, and I had a foot injury, which was weird because I don't know how I hurt it, but I think it was some kind of tendon. And I had to get off of that trail. And I thought, oh, my God, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do the Appalachian Trail because we're training for that. And so I started doing feet exercises. And I started doing them twice a day, and I still do them to this day because that has made, who would know? Who would think of doing feet exercises? But it helps strengthen all of the stabilizing muscles around your feet. And
Ankles.
what a difference that made. So it was almost like a blessing that happened.
Yeah.
Because then we research. Anytime we have an ailment, we just start researching how to fix it. You wouldn't believe the stuff we do to keep our bodies going. Annette has these toe spacers that she uses. I mean,
I swear.
you guys,
by
when
it.
you get old, your body does weird things.
Yeah.
Do you sleep with them? What's the...
No, I wear them. I have
She
one
hikes
right
in
now.
'em.
Okay.
You wear them to hike.
Yeah.
Correct toes.
Uh-huh.
I don't get paid, but
Yeah.
they really changed the way my feet feel after a hike changed when I started using them. So I'm sold.
What specific foot exercises are you doing?
It's a series. It's Caroline Jordan is the one that does this YouTube channel, but she, you do some, kind of different movements with your feet. You do toe raises.
Yeah.
There's the one where with your toes you go like this like you're pulling a towel towards you, and it strengthens these muscles. You stand on one leg, and it strengthens the
Yes,
supporting
flexion and
muscles.
strengthening stuff.
Yeah, and you kind of roll up on your toes like this. So anyway, they're really simple.
Mm-hmm.
But I started doing them twice a day, and I still do them because I just know it has made a huge difference in my life.
You also mentioned weight training. Do you
Mhm.
have dumbbells in the RV, or do you
Yeah,
go to like a
we
national
do.
gym
We do.
chain? Okay. Yeah. Walk me through a little bit of that program.
Well, when we used to go to the Y, we would have a series of like 3 days. We'd do back and bis one day, chest and tries one day, shoulders and legs. And then we do abs like every other day. So we just kind of created those with dumbbells and an exercise ball, and so we'll do, some curls and some rows with the dumbbells. We just kind of, we just try to stay up with that. Then we do some strength training. I started trying to do these strength yoga poses.
Yeah, and
I just started doing them.
I'm doing the minutes. Are you into the minutes at all?
Not
You do
familiar.
everything for a minute, all these different I love it.
Okay.
I do it first thing in the morning, and I love them.
What are the exercises?
Well, they're supposed to completely release your whole lymphatic system. So, like, you do them in a certain order, and then everybody adds some on because you're like there's 6 core movements, so you do those, and then the first one is pogoing up and down for a minute. And then you do the, where your arms up down to your toe, that one, whatever they call that. I don't even know what they call them. And then you do these arm swings, and you do arm swings the other way, and you do this golf swing one where you're going up. But you only have to do everything for a minute.
Yeah.
And so it's completely you don't even have to, like, psych yourself up for it. And I feel so good afterwards. I'm like, I love this thing. I just love it.
Yeah.
We try to create doing things that's not overwhelming, like the lifting. So we, because if it's overwhelming, then it's hard to start it. So we do stuff like that you're trying to get the most out of what you're doing, but it's not like not going to take us a long time to finish it.
And we're really faithful. We're both really committed to staying in shape. And so, there's very few times when one or the other of us will be like, oh, forget it. One of us will say, oh, come on, let's just do it. And then we get it, we'll do like the weight thing. And then the other thing and it's really about what you do most of the days.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss a day here or there.
Yeah, we're
or
not
whatever.
extreme. Like, you can't miss it, or
Right.
you're
not, yeah.
like we will change it up just because we get bored with something and we want to do something, or we'll miss a day, or it's not like we're extreme, but we just enjoy it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
enjoy movement. If I miss a day, I feel off. I'll be like, oh, I didn't walk
And
today.
it's really fun to feel good and to feel balanced in your body and to feel strong. And like, I was at the store, the grocery store, and I squatted down, just like did a squat down to pick up a can on the bottom shelf, and this woman next to me was like, she was having a moment. She's like, oh my gosh. I am not even, thinking about it because I'm doing squats, all the time. And it just struck me funny. I was like, yeah, I guess that's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm always blown away by my kids. Obviously, they have perfect flexibility because they're so young, and like they squat with perfect form. It's amazing how quickly we lose that as we adapt to this.
Yeah, or how long they can stay squatted. Like if they're playing with trucks or sand. Whatever.
You should see us getting out of the tent sometimes. I have to back out sometimes.
At the end of it, yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part, though, we really haven't struggled that much with the AT. You know how it is. You know how it is too. After the AT, we were our feet. Even though we were kind of hurting a little bit, we didn't have to do a huge amount of recovery, but we're like, and that was our first long trail. But then the other trails, when we did the CDT and the PCT, it was like there was no recovery.
Mm-hmm. Just
They're
kept
different,
on hiking.
They're different kinds of trails, right? You're
we got stronger. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and you get smarter too.
Yeah.
You learn how to hike long trails.
Yeah.
There's definitely a learning curve for success on a through hike.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You guys spend a lot of time together between the trails and the workouts and the RV. Do you ever get sick of each other?
We don't get sick of each other, but we take a lot of time on our own, or separately, or even if we're somewhere like stuck in a sandstorm in the RV. I mean, I'll be on that end, and Kristy can be on this end.
And that's reading or
thing, and yeah, it's not like
we actually do really well together.
We do really well together, but we haven't ever like.
It's just been easy.
It is easy.
And when we hike, we kind of hike at the same pace, and we kind of like doing that. Take a day off. We're both like, let's take a day off. It's hard. It's just easy.
There was a day on this trip, on the river trip, when I have a little bit of that raised syndrome, where you get the cold and it shuts off your blood. It's a really kind of I hadn't had an episode in so long that I kind of like tucked it away. But we were out there, and it was cold. You know, the water's like 40 degrees anyway, so you're down in the water. But it was cold, it was windy, it was raining, and I was really getting cold. We stopped for a break, and there's a certain feel. It's almost like you haven't had hot flashes ever, but you know when you're going to have one. There's like this kind of trigger switch. And it's the same thing with this, I could kind of like feel, and I was like, no. I cannot have this happen to me out here. I gotta be able to use my arms. I have to be able to. So I started like doing all my stuff. And Kristy's like, you know, she could tell I was kind of agitated. She's like, what's up? And I was like, oh my God, you know, I'm having this thing. I said, I gotta work it. I can't. And I got like almost to that, you know, a little bit escalated. And she was great. Kristy was great. She's like, look, whatever, I've got your back. I've totally got you. Do not worry. You're going to be fine. I'll get you out of here. Whatever. I'll stay. I'll
put the tent up and
we'll just do it. So she's just like, just do what you need to do. And, you know, just that kind of support. Just like she wasn't like, oh, you know, it's all in your head, or, you know, how people say stuff and you're just like, oh. She was just really right there for me. And just stuff like that. It's just like, there's a lot of ways that people, sometimes we watch those shows where they're going to win a bunch of money if they finish the trip, and they're so mean to each other.
Like The Amazing Race.
I'm like,
yes.
oh my God.
I love that show.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, how do they go on with their relationship after this? Because
they're not leaning on positive reinforcement to motivate.
But it is nice to have someone in your corner that you know really has your back. And it's not fake, and it's not an effort. It's just like, totally there.
To that point, to the effort point, do you two have like rules or any sort of mantra to manage any difficult times, or do your personalities just naturally meld so perfectly that it happens without any sort of constitution?
It doesn't take a lot of effort at this point, but I mean, there's certainly days, but I think the difference is, like, if I'm having a hard time, it's a hard time with me, not Annette. Do you know what I mean? Like, you take accountability for your own struggle instead of taking it out on somebody else. And I think we both are really good at that. So we have bad days, or we're tired, or we're irritated, or God, you know. But I think that we're both.
And we've both done a ton of work. We've both done a ton
ourselves.
On ourselves. We've done a ton of, you know, therapy, self-help, whatever. We have done a ton of work on working on ourselves.
So you're not working your crap out on somebody else.
Yeah.
You're accountable for it, and you go, oh yeah, I'm having a bad day. I need to just be quiet for a while over here, or whatever. But so it's kind of keeping it to yourself, not spewing it out.
I also imagine both of your professions lean very heavily on empathy and just being educated on social dynamics. So
and allowing people to have a bad day, or allowing
people
somebody to struggle next to you and not have to fix it. And
even when you're hiking with people, you don't have to be with them that much, but you could be hiking with people for just, you know, a short amount of time, and they can just be driving you over the edge. It doesn't have to be, oh, we're together all the time, we must be sick of each other. I mean, it's more about what's going on
in the dynamic.
With that dynamic.
Yeah.
Or drama.
Yeah.
Like, neither of us are drama people. We're just like, oh, no drama, you know.
Yeah.
So
just having fun. We're trying to live our life.
We're trying
We're
to
too
have
busy.
fun. We're like, you know.
Yeah.
At this point, you're like, okay, we got to do what we can do here.
Yeah. Okay, so Lone Star Trail is 2018.
Yes.
And that's when you make the decision to hike the AT. Going into the AT, we've hiked it. I'm sure listeners of the podcast are well aware that, like, there's a lot of post-retired folks out on the trail. Were you aware of that going onto the trail? Did you know that there would be a similar age demographic out on trail, or was that kind of a shock to you?
I knew nothing.
I don't even think I thought about
Mm.
who was going to be out there or what. I didn't know anything either. Other than there was this big long trail. I wanted to be out there for a long time. But we talked about how we would see really young people and really old people. The mid group that are raising families aren't out there as much as the retired or the people right before going to college, or, you know.
Yeah, if I were making a commercial for thru-hiking, I would say, go out there, meet cool people, because that's really what happens. You meet all kinds of cool people, young, old.
We always talk about it like when we stepped on a trail, you just seem like you're entering a parallel universe to the world. The world's happening over here, but you're not in it. Didn't even really care what was going on. You're in this different universe with the same people, and you're on this journey, and you're, like Annette said, you're speaking this language, you're just in this totally different universe. And with people of all ages, all educational levels, it doesn't matter. We're all part of the same tribe, and you're all connected on that ribbon that's going from A to B. Just loved it.
Yeah,
just loved every minute.
And I loved the people.
I didn't think about the people piece of it. When I started, I'm thinking I just want to go hike along. I want to be out there for a really long time, and then the people part of it has been the biggest gift for us. Are the people that we have met along the way. It's just been unbelievable, and I feel like it's like I'm going back in time when people traveled on foot, and you're trying to get the food, and you're meeting people, and you're on this journey, and you're seeing things, and you're struggling, and then you're feeling great, and I just feel like I'm doing something that I naturally am supposed to be doing. And I think about, like, when we walked across Wyoming and the history of the mail delivery through there.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow, the people that would carry the mail through there. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're like on foot. I mean, it's easier for us, but it's... And you think about the people that have walked before you in some of these places, some of these trails have been there for so long. And just like this river we just rafted, and you think about the people that have traveled that river highway.
Thousands of years.
And you almost can kind of see, you could see them. And then it's just amazing. There's just like this whole piece with people that opened up that really became a gift for us, what we remember the most, or the people we met. I mean, even in different places in the world, we have gone and met with people that have followed us on one of those trails. They'll say, hey, when you come to Scotland, you could stay with us. Hey, when there's people that you're just like, wow, that's just like amazing. And we do it. If somebody says, we want to meet you, take you to dinner, or you could stay with us, we do it. Because we know it's a gift that's going to unfold. Unless I have a bad feeling about it. But I have yet to have a bad experience. You just feel like, wow. Because to us, a gift unfolds every single time we meet with somebody new.
Yeah.
We hear their story. So our motto is to expand our limits before we die. And that was one of the things. When you retire, sometimes your life shrinks. You get because you are kind of out of the workforce with all the people that you're hanging out with, talking to daily, and your life kind of shrinks. And we decided that we wanted to expand and have as many new experiences as we could have, meet as many people, and that's the gift we're giving us till we die, is to keep on expanding. And boy, we really felt like we've expanded with these through hikes. We've expanded our lives big time.
Yeah. So to double click on that, in terms of these serendipitous encounters, is this just a byproduct of like the trail magic that you're experiencing on the AT, or is this like the fanfare that you're getting through your YouTube channel? A combination? A combination.
And we did that YouTube channel just really so my mom can see us doing our RV life, and then we thought let's do this. Let's do our hike on YouTube to kind of motivate older people to do stuff. So that's kind of what we were thinking. But God, we didn't think people really watched them. I mean, we were really into YouTube at the time. So then we found out later that people placed bets on us on whether we were going to make it or not. One woman said, my husband said, no way. Oh my God.
You should get a share of that prize pool.
But yeah, so then people started contacting us and saying, hey, when you get to Pittsburgh, we want you to stay with us, or so, and then we were like, yeah, let's do this so that we can really meet people and make that part of our journey. So the YouTube was some, and then some of it's just trail magic as you're wandering along and you run into people and talk to them, and we've kept up with a lot of people that helped us along the way. We're connected in a lot of ways.
Well, you guys know, because you've been out there, you do meet really cool people.
For sure.
At one point, there was a young kid, he was a high school dropout, and there was a literal rocket scientist. I mean, so you're like, oh, this guy's, here they are, they're hiking together and having a great time, and you're just like, oh, where does this happen? Where
Right.
else do you get maybe the laundromat or something? But it's that interesting mix of people that are out there that for whatever reason thought, oh, I'll go do a long trail or part of a long trail or.
And young people were just fun for us, and they gave us hope. And there would be people, I remember on the PCT, there were a couple of guys and a girl that said, oh, you're the Wander Women. Can we have lunch with you? We were sitting there. Can we sit with you and have lunch? And so he started talking about, you're like our moms. I told my mom to watch you because you're like our moms. And we were like, oh, gosh. And it was like amazing that they even wanted to sit talk to us. We were like, God, that's kind of cool. Yeah. And they talked about their college and their plans. And I don't know. It was just fun.
Yeah.
Just fun. And young women were amazing.
Oh, yeah.
There were so many young women that were out there kind of solo hiking and had huge goals for themselves and they just had it together.
Yeah, the Spot device or the Garmin or whatever has really given a new kind of freedom to young people to hike alone. So you'll meet different people, and they're like, oh, I've got my, emergency device and, like brave. Like these are brave people.
Yeah.
Like, do you hike by yourself ever?
I started the AT by myself, but
Yeah.
I like being around people.
I do
So
too.
if I find
Us
people
too.
to be with, I'm going to hang out with
we
people.
we like people
Yeah.
too. But I'm like, man, that there's some really brave people out there. Yeah.
So you mentioned part of the motivation with the YouTube channels to motivate the older crowd. I imagine you get a lot of questions from people about, I don't know, maybe RV, backpacking, anything in between. What are some of the most common questions that you guys field?
I think a lot of people ask questions about safety.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are afraid to step out there if you haven't done it before. We kind of grew up in the woods, doing stuff, so it wasn't as scary. You just kind of grow up doing it. But I think somebody who's wanting to start and hasn't been out there, they're afraid of bears. A lot of people are afraid of bears.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the bears? Aren't you afraid of bears? But most of the time, the thing we've enjoyed about the YouTube channel is people leaving comments that says, oh my gosh, I joined the Y. I'm walking around the block every day. I've worked up to 3 blocks, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they'll say, oh, you really inspired me. I bought a bike. I'm out. I'm riding. I just started going around the block, and now I'm up to 3 miles or whatever.
Yeah, and
that's cool when you.
That makes me happy. And there was a guy on the PCT that we ran into, and he said, "Oh, my mom, she's 74, and she just got her a bike. She's riding.
She watched. Yeah, he's like she loves your. Oh my gosh! Now she has a bike. Now she's riding all over. And you're just
That's
like, that's
good.
so cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
kind of feel
Yeah.
very fulfilling for you.
That's really great.
Yeah. You also mentioned that you have philosophy or structure around how you start your backpacking trips in terms of like ramping up. Would love to know some of the specifics around that.
Really, we just start doing a lot of miles with a pack. So we start filling our pack, carrying more weight, because we're already doing the base. We're lifting weights, we're hiking, we're biking, or whatever. But if we know we're doing a big backpacking trip, then we'll just start carrying our pack and doing more miles and
adding weight to our packs and building up to, it's still, even when you have done that, when you get out there for your first couple of days, you're like, this seems a little bit hard. But then, and so what we do to compensate that is we start with lower miles at the beginning of the trek.
yes.
Do you have a specific plan for, say, the first 2 weeks of the trail?
Well, we start out doing 8 miles, maybe 12, 10. I think on the AT we just started with 8 for a while.
First couple
But it
days.
didn't take us long to start building up. I mean,
Yeah. Right.
it wouldn't even be 2 weeks. I would say within a week we'd be up probably up around 15, and then eventually we do some 20s. We've done some 24, but then we don't do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We just plus we're retired. We don't have to hurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be some benefit to being older. There has to be some bonus that you get out of that because there's a lot of other non-bonus items to that. So
Well, and
the time factor is
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we have time.
we want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's the journey. I mean, really, truly, we're just like, let's just, how you get to the end and you're kind of, your body's ready to be done, but you're not ready to be done. You're kind of like, I want to keep going. I want to stay out. So we just kind of drag it out, make it work, get a flow to it. We like a flow.
You mentioned your packs. What are you carrying for your items that are more obvious, like your backpack, your sleeping bag, your, the things that you have to carry? And what are you carrying that might be less obvious, like the things that maybe you don't need to survive, but they're comforts?
We're pretty basic. We don't have a lot of fancy equipment. When we started, we bought ULA packs, the circuit packs, but we just used our stuff that we had when we first started. We're kind of, not fancy stuff, but
we're not like...
We like the quilt idea, using a quilt instead of a bag. We like that, you can save some weight there. And
what quilt do you use?
I have a Jax or better that it's like really old now. It's like 13 years old now.
Wow.
And mine's a Thermarest.
Yeah, and yours is old too.
When we did the Colorado Trail, I had this huge Kelty red external frame pack. And we had a dog at the time. And that pack was so heavy. And it had dog food in there. And because we used to be able to carry weight, and we liked it. And that was the last time I did that. At the end of that trail, I said, I will never carry a heavy pack ever again in my life. If I'm going to keep backpacking, I need to go light. So then and not like ultra light or anything, but I just needed to kick some stuff out. So then that's when we got a different pack, and then got the quilt. And so that's been a long time. I've had that quilt. I think I got that quilt in 2015.
Yeah.
Still have it. We still have our stuff. We're not like really that focused on getting the best of the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just as long as we can manage. But I don't have any luxury stuff because the Kindle.
We both carry our Kindles because, there's times when you end up spending a fair amount of time in the tent and you're like, oh, this is great having this, But
that's about it because we're old and we're trying not to carry stuff. I mean, really, I'll just be like, I can do without. And we wear the same clothes all the time like most people do. I mean, you're just like cutting out stuff. The biggest thing I focus on that is the most critical piece for me are my shoes. I always say if I have a good pair of shoes, I'm good. I can go with it without anything else if I just have a good pair of shoes. Because our feet, we have to take care of our feet. And so I spend most of my money on shoes.
What shoes?
Hoka. I get the Hoka Speed Goats. And I switch every 500 miles. Just because I can start feeling my feet. And I invest in I spend thousands of dollars on, I don't care about my equipment. I could sleep in anything, but my shoes are like important.
Yeah, your feet are definitely the most important.
Yeah, and now they have those cool guy little stoves that don't weigh anything, and your little titanium pot that doesn't weigh anything, and you have really basic stuff that you can use.
So we try to keep our pack to 25 pounds and under.
I think, like for me, I have skin. Like bugs love me and stuff, so I hike in a long sleeve shirt and in like REI hiking pants, the zip offs, and I hardly ever zip them off because I'm like, oh. This is better not to do it. And in some ways, it's kind of an old-fashioned thing almost. I mean, because all the young people are out there wearing like micro shorts and stuff, but we're like treating our pants with, anti-tick stuff. We're like, okay, we don't want ticks.
We're keeping the sun off our skin.
We're keeping the sun. We're wearing those hats and coming,
Not a fashion statement.
Yeah, definitely not a slave to fashion out there, but very functional. We're very function over fashion.
Yeah,
and just that real basic approach. Like, I hate sunburn. I see people out there just getting burnt, and I'm like, it almost makes me sick. I feel like, oh my gosh, So just some of the basic stuff that maybe it's because we're older, or we always treat before we go on the trip for ticks, all our clothes and our shoes and stuff.
I've got some permethrin
I was
here.
going to say, we might have our perfect audience for our
definitely.
extra.
Yeah, it's a big dang deal. Last year at the film festival, we saw this film called The Silent Killer. It's about Lyme disease. Oh my God. Everybody should watch it.
I'm already afraid enough of Lyme disease. I don't need any more propaganda.
It would make it, and it was really good.
Yeah.
But so we do that, and then we all along the way, every 6 weeks, we are treating all of our stuff, taking care of our stuff.
Smart.
Yeah.
We know we have stuff so that we don't freeze to death. We have,
we use a poncho instead of rain.
Oh, I'm poncho team too.
Yeah.
Team poncho,
I like the
definitely.
poncho.
Please don't leave here without taking some permethrin. So I don't need to coach up.
What about your sleeping pads? What do you use for sleeping pads?
We have the
XL,
X-Therm,
Thermarest.
X-Therm.
The yellow one?
Yeah.
Got it.
No,
X-Therm's the silver one.
Yeah, the silver one.
Yeah,
the silver
the
one.
X-Lights.
Yeah, yeah.
X-Light, that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not saying on my. I never. My Kristy's had problems with hers getting leaks in on the trip. No, I never had a problem. Like the third night of our river rafting trip, totally, I couldn't keep air in it. I mean, it was just flat. It would just go flat like within an hour.
And we camped on those gravel banks, so Annette was
I
sleeping
was
on
like,
rocks for
I was sleeping on rocks.
That's
19
comfy.
days.
Yeah.
19
So it's common for once you through hike a trail, a lot of people will transition to van life after that. Once they get used to the simplicity of through hiking, like they're able to see how that translates to a lifestyle. Was it easy to get into through hiking because you'd already made that switch to RV life, like living more simplistically?
Yeah. But we were RVing before we did the long through hikes.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. We
yeah.
only had to switch from. I will say that when you come back from a through hike and you're in your trailer, it seems really decadent. Especially we boondock a lot where we're not hooked up to what, so you got to conserve water and you got to be careful of all that stuff. But if you're at a place that has hookups, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. It's just like you can.
Yeah, you feel like it's luxury.
Yeah,
luxury
right.
in a house, but
It was easy. It's easy for us because it just fits us, just to be out and to not be monotonous. When you're working, I can remember driving home from work and I didn't even think. You're just like on autopilot. You just are you get in a routine.
it's almost scary because you get there and you're like,
Yeah, I didn't even.
How did I
God, I wasn't even paying attention. But the RV life, like just being out there, you have to think all the time because you're always in a new place. We're always researching and reading about different places. You haven't traveled the city, so you have to pay attention on where you're driving. You're doing something new all the time. So it's really kind of a good thing for our brains to be challenged and to be everything's new all the time. I love that part of it.
yeah.
But it's similar to backpacking. You have all your stuff in just an area. I mean, and you're moving around,
There's
and you
also
set it up. And
yeah. There's also, like as Kristy said, it suits us. I think there is a personality type that is like, oh, I kind of like this small space. Even like in our backpacking tent, we use a 2-person tent. We're like right next to each other, and I know where everything is exactly. I can reach for it, grab for it. And same in. It's like really emotionally easy to control a small space. You're not. And the trailer is the same way.
you have what you need.
It's like I have what I need. I know where it is, and I don't have to. There's something easy about. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. And when we had our house, there were parts of it we didn't even use. You didn't need it. You just didn't need all that space.
Yeah.
Like you use everything you have, and you have what you need.
Yeah, one of my colleagues that I taught with, her daughter was doing this program in college where they put little, I don't know what they were, little movement cameras in all these different places in people's houses so that they could monitor how often people were using these different spaces in their house. So they find out that you spend 90% of your time
In one spot.
in 10% of
two
your
spots,
house,
yeah.
right? And these other, like barely any use. I mean, and so, I think Americans kind of got carried away with the absolute, we have to have this huge space. We need this really
And
big
having an
space.
RV, you can't keep stuff. In your closet, you could have a whole pile of shoes. But now, if we get shoes, we throw one out and have
Yeah.
you don't have space.
One in, one out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You mentioned like the repetitive nature of pre-retirement, like coming home from work, same path every day, like you start to not notice it. And I've read things that'll say like, as we get older, it feels like time is going faster. And it's mainly because you have less new experiences. So your brain's not registering the new experiences and it just feels like everything's kind of a blur. Do you feel like since 2015, time has felt like it's slowed down compared to life prior to retirement, just because you guys are having these novel experiences?
Maybe inflated. Time inflates. Like you're in a big amount of time. I mean, like, well, we all know this, right? Hiking on a hot day on the AT in the humidity is it's like, I said, my God, if you wanted to feel like you could live for like, this would be it. Just get on here. And it's like your day goes on for 100 hours, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But there's this thing of having like these big experiences that, I don't know if it feels faster, but it feels fatter.
More depth to
Dense. Yeah,
Yes.
there's a density to it.
Yeah. Fattest known time. That should be the new.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, because everything you're doing, you're choosing to do. You're in charge of your time. And so we're doing what we enjoy most of the time during the day. And that makes it the time richer.
Right.
I don't know if it's flying, but it is kind of, because you're having fun and it just kind of goes.
Oh.
The years are just ticking off. But
Yeah.
but I experience it more as just like this really intense depth to my time now, to my life.
Interesting.
It's joyful. It really is. I mean, to be in charge of time is a gift.
Yeah.
That you are free to create your life how you want it most of your time. And I enjoyed my job, but I also had to go to my job all the time. And there was, I mean, you didn't have the choice of today I don't want to do that. I want to go do this. You don't have that freedom. Where now we have freedom. It's a gift. It's way more valuable than money or anything, any amount of stuff. Is the richness of your time and your experiences.
Right. So that's what we say, is we chose to be experience rich. We have to say that since we didn't. We have to say it, but it is true too.
It is true.
We did choose to be. When I say this all the time because I remember it so much. We were sitting in the trailer. I think we were. It seems like we were in Texas at this point or something. And we were talking about having started this life, like, oh, wow, And I said, oh, my gosh. I said, even if we only did this for a year, it was worth it. Because it was such a great, rich experience. I was like, you can always go back to your sticks and bricks, RVers call it sticks and bricks life. You can
or work or do something.
Get a job. I mean, I even at my age, they're so desperate. I could probably still find a teaching job, and Kristy could always find a job. She's excellent. But, it's like, oh, okay, I have this opportunity. This is like this huge opportunity, especially for me. I don't know. I didn't have an experience-rich childhood. I really didn't. I mean, it was okay. But now it's like, oh, wow, I can do this. We got these pack rafts. We got these pack rafts, and we're learning how to do them up and dropping them into the river and taking off. And I'm like, wow, this should be something I can see watching other people do. But I'm doing this. It's really cool. It's really cool to.
Would you say these are the best years of your life?
Yes.
Yeah. Not even a
I
hesitation.
would never go backwards.
Yeah.
Never go backwards.
Yeah.
It's hard. Getting older is hard. I mean, there's no doubt. The physical stuff and
your time's ticking.
yeah.
Like you have a certain window. Like we always think of what's some of the hardest things we want to do because we need to do them now.
Yeah.
And we plan on keeping going, but we know that there will be a time where some of these things will be too hard.
Right.
That it wouldn't be as fun. You might struggle through it. But we're trying to really use our time wisely to figure out what are the hardest things out there that we really want to do and do them now. And there's a lot of other things. I'm dealing with my elderly parent. That's hard stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't really think about that until you're in it. And that's another hard part of. And people in your age groups are dying and getting sick, and it's a whole different.
Yeah.
It's a whole different chapter of life.
Definitely.
That some of these thru-hikes seem simple compared to some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But we also know that life is a gift, and we are going to live it. I just feel like every minute, I really, really, truly am very aware of every minute of my life, that I just don't want to waste one. We feel very lucky that our bodies are able right now. We're able to do a lot of stuff, and we want to keep it that way, but we know at any moment you might not have that. So we're really just taking advantage and being grateful. And
you learn a lot about yourself on a through hike. And if you do a lot of through hiking, you know, if you learn more. I mean, you know how you feel like, oh, there is no corner of my mind that hasn't been excavated here. I've like gone through everything that ever happened to me in my whole life. And there is some truth in that, but it does get to be this walking meditation where transformation, I really felt like it transformed me. The through hikes really changed me internally, you know.
I think the biggest thing I have gained, the biggest gift I have gained personally in my life is that I trust myself to handle anything that comes my way. 100%.
Right.
And in that, so I don't have fear because I feel like whatever it is, I will handle. Now, that doesn't mean something bad won't happen to me, but I do believe that I will do my best to handle whatever comes my way. And so I look forward to stepping into that, and just whatever unfolds, I trust I will handle. And so when we stepped out on that pack rafting trip in the middle of nowhere, Alaska, and I mean in the middle of nowhere, and experienced that level of nature, I was so excited to step out there into that with nothing around, no safety net or anything, totally trusting that I'll handle whatever comes. And I just felt there was something so profound about that for me. And things happen. And you just feel like we'll handle it. We're not, you create solutions as you're going. There's somewhere I walk to that point within me that I trust myself to handle it. Even people that you're losing, you know, my sister passed away when she was 52 years old to cancer. I walked that journey with her. I felt at the time I'm going to handle this. I could handle it. And in that, there was a gift for her in that I was in a place where I can totally 100% step into this, no matter how bad that was, and be totally present. And I will handle whatever comes my way, because that was a hard day for me. That was a hard time for me. But there is this knowing that nothing will break me. There's something. That's something I walk to somewhere. And it goes with our adventures. It goes with our lifestyle. Like, we're going to step out there and do our life, and we're going to live big until we die.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you got something to say.
I was just going to say that when you get to a point in your personal development where you trust your decision making, so you're out there, things are happening, things could happen, but you trust that you're going to make decisions and then another decision, whatever, and you trust that. That is this incredible freedom. It's incredible.
And it opens the door to so many things.
Yeah.
So I'm really fascinated by this perspective of just being present and so appreciative of time, because I think that's something that as a society we struggle with in general, and I'm certainly guilty of that myself. We recently interviewed a fella who was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and like for him, he says that he's happier now than he was before he had the cancer, because it gave him that perspective of like, life is very finite. I'm going to appreciate and absorb every single moment. Was there like a singular event that gave you that perspective, or was this a general progress, or do you know at what point you were more grateful of every minute of the day?
I'm not sure if there was a turning point, but I know when my sister got sick, we had already planned. So we were selling everything we own. In 2014, we sold the house. We were going to retire in 2015 of May, and my sister died February 2015. So we were in this process already. But in that there was something about that I said, oh my God, I'm doing the right thing, and I have to live every moment. And I feel like there's a part of me that wants to live it for her too. You know, I picture her with me, and I'm taking her. You know, but there is a piece of life is short, because we always somehow think, you know, maybe in my 90s I'll die or something. but people die in their 50s. People die in their 20s. I mean, we don't know what we have. And something about that motivated me, like, oh my gosh, I have less time. I might have less time than I even think I have. So I think that event impacted me, kind of moved me. You know, in everybody's situation, is personal, but my sister was like us. She was active. She was a backpacker. She went with us. She was a runner. She was a police sergeant, chasing people down. You know what I mean? Like, she was tough. And then she gets sick and dies 2 months later.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, wow, anything could happen at any time. For me, that was a motivating event.
So, I know you guys are very particular with your training regimen, your exercise as a practice. Is nutrition part of this? Are you particular with your diets? Because that's been a bummer for me as I've gotten older, is that I have to watch what I eat more. I know. Not only for like weight standpoint, but I just feel like I just function better as a person when I get a vegetable here and there.
We do. You're always trying to lose 10 pounds. You know what I mean? For us. We're always like, oh God, I gotta stop eating. I gotta eat better. But we do. We eat pretty healthy. And as we've gotten older, we don't eat as much. Like, we don't cook big meals. We'll do more of a salad or yogurt, fruit and yogurt, or even for dinner, we'll just have fruit and yogurt. We don't eat big meals, but we try, to cut out sugar. You're always trying to tweak something. I've eaten too much sugar. I need to cut it out. We never get it perfect, but we always try.
We eat
pretty
darn healthy, really. Yeah. I mean, you do, just because you want to feel, like you said, you want to feel good. You want to feel good the next day. I mean, that's why we talk about being the only sober people on the trail, because when you're us and you're older, it's like, oh, I can't even imagine. I mean, we're trying to do this and we're doing it like straight up, but I can't even imagine trying to do it high. But that's part of it too. That's like, okay, I don't need to be drinking in this part of my life if I'm trying to keep myself healthy.
Yeah.
So we do that.
You're always tweaking something.
Not
always
that we
working
don't. If like somebody offered us a beer, we'd be like, oh yeah, sure, let's have. But in general, we try and do that, and we eat a lot of vegetables, and that's mostly because we don't like meat.
I don't really eat a lot of meat, so I'm always struggling to get protein. I have to be creative at doing. But plant proteins and different things like that.
I think that gets to be kind of an easy balance. It's not really that much of a struggle. You just get into it and do it. Like, and every once in a while you eat something, you're like, why did I eat that?
How about on trail? Are you particular with the diet on trail? So that's harder for me.
Yes, on the Appalachian Trail I ate like crap, and I just thought, I can eat it and I'll just burn it off. But I didn't feel good. I ate way too many sweets and all along that trail. So the other two trails I did not. I got rid of sweets and did more peanut butter and nut butters and different things. So I did switch. I ate chips on there. I would bring some crunchy Cheetos or something. I had to have some luxury thing that I loved that was tasty. Yeah. But for the most part, and we didn't really do dehydrated foods because we got sick of those.
We didn't mail ourselves anything, So you're eating, like, as you said, at the gas station or
tuna packets and a tortilla and that kind of stuff. But I mean, I really cut out sweets.
But you do see some people, like, that's another interesting part, is the people doing outrageous things with food.
Oh, yeah.
Like melting the stick of butter in their coffee cup, and you're like, wow, that's something.
Yeah, or people eating exclusively McDonald's cheeseburgers for like a 100-mile stretch.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, wow, that's something. But
or what was it that Pyro did? It was maple syrup and peanut butter?
Yeah.
For the entire 100-mile wilderness?
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
He had a fun
acquired
one.
Tastes.
He did like only Mott's fruit snacks in the rim to rim to rim or something like that. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, the little rubbery ones?
Yeah.
Oh, I love those.
I love those too.
Cool. Well, it's been fun talking like philosophy. I want to talk nitty gritty on some of these adventures. Give us some of the highlights, lowlights, whatever stories you want to relay from the AT. The
highlights of the AT. The AT was really hard for me. I mean, I thought that humidity, I thought I was going to die from the humidity. I really did. I mean, I guess I'm a Westerner, like through and through. I struggled with the humidity. That was like my arch enemy.
Same.
And I was just like, sheesh, I don't know. So that was the hardest part for me. Just dealing with that, just staying up. I mean, your clothes would be just drenched and salty, and you'd take them off, and they'd be wet in the morning, and you'd put them back on, and you're like, ah. But so but the highs of the AT were meeting all these amazing people and the community there that supports the trail. My great uncle Jack hiked this in 1942 barefoot. And you're just like, you meet all these cool people, and you're like, oh, wow, that's a great story.
And the hostels and all the different
hostels
towns. And you go through 14 states.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
You hear all different accents and
my favorite part of the AT is climbing Katahdin. It was the very last day. It was my favorite part.
That's a great hike.
I loved it.
You can apply this to the AT, or you can pick a different trail for this. But for each of you, about the other person, what's one moment on trail where the other person has done something so funny that you just couldn't stop laughing?
I remember when we got really tickled in the whites.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, over the food at the huts when you'd stop, and they're supposed to, so you stop at these things, and they're supposed to always have some kind of food for the hikers, and we went to the one, and I guess it was the regular crew's day off for their party or whatever, and there are these other people there, and we're like, oh, so what's the food? And it was just like, oh, there's some bread over there. And it was just like totally dry, crusted bread. And then for whatever reason, we'd be like, we of course took some of that dry bread, but then we got totally tickled by this. Oh yeah, we have to hike just so that we can get to that dry, crusty bread. And at the time, we just were laughing hysterically. We were out of control. Just like, it wasn't, in retrospect, but it was funny. I mean, you realize that there is no reward really for the misery factor. I mean, people love to talk about the misery factor, which is a very real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is funny that you're making yourself do this thing for a dry crust of bread at the end of the day. And
that's how sick of ramen people are.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So at what point did you know you were going to Triple Crown? Is that a decision you made on the AT? Was that afterward?
No, we did the AT. Then we were going to go to Europe and do a 5-month trip. We had it totally planned. We were heading up to Pennsylvania from Florida, and we were going to store our RV, stay with one of the trail angels that helped us in Pennsylvania, and then we were going to fly out.
Uh-huh.
And when we got there, COVID was just starting. And we flew from Pennsylvania to California and started the PCT. And the second day...
So our Europe trip got canceled.
So, yeah, Europe got canceled. So we said, well, let's go do the PCT. So we flew...
Instead, you fly to California.
So then, second day in, they say to get off the trail. So we were like, oh, okay. So we get off the trail, and then we decide to rent a car and drive all the way back to Pennsylvania. And then get our trailer and our truck. And then we're driving, and we have a friend, Juliet, who we were with down in Florida in our RV. She was by herself, and she was at this military base because of COVID. And she wanted to get home, but she was afraid to come by herself with all the COVID stuff. You didn't know what was going on. So we were coming back, and I said, okay, Juliet, we're going to pick up our car. In 3 days, you make a plan to get to Tennessee at the Walmart.
In Greensboro, Tennessee.
Meet us there in 3 days. So she did. It gave her a plan.
She was like paralyzed. I don't know. You remember how the beginning of COVID was? Where they were like, nobody knew what was going on, and it was freaking. She got a little freaked out.
So we had so Lynn was with us. So we get our trailers. We go from Pennsylvania to Tennessee. She meets us, and then we do this convoy all the way to Colorado. And it was weird times because COVID is just happening. Nobody knows what's going on. You were afraid to go into the store. They were talking about...
Nobody was on the interstate. I mean, it was only big trucks.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
It was weird.
Crazy, and we're
Yeah.
we've got our huge. At that point, we have our big, huge fifth wheel that we're like rumbling
And
around.
Juliet's out in the parking lot washing her hair at the Walmart parking lot in a bucket. I mean, it was crazy.
It was crazy. It was crazy. It was like an epic road trip.
So then we make it to Colorado, and we put our RV in storage, and we stayed with a friend in Colorado Springs, and we stayed there for a few months. And then they started being more lax with COVID in like Wyoming.
Yeah.
And so we said, let's just go to the Wyoming-Colorado border and just start walking the CDT towards Canada and just see what we can do. So we did. We take off and we go, and we just had to, when we were in towns, you just ate outside. You didn't really sit in the restaurants, but it was fine. It was a great COVID plan because you're out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then we flipped around and we said, let's just head to Mexico, and we did. So we did the CDT like that, not even really planning it other than let's just walk. And so we finished the CDT like that. And then the next year we decided to do the PCT because we still weren't comfortable with traveling. You still had to have that COVID vaccination. There's still weird stuff going on. So we did the PCT, and so we weren't really planning on doing it, but I think COVID just gave us an excuse to do it.
This
I mean,
is
really,
what we can do.
we'll stay home in the U.S. and hike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad we did.
Yeah, I am too.
And then we went to
we
Europe.
didn't have a Triple Crown plan though.
Yeah.
But, and the other part is you can do it.
If you stay healthy.
If you stay healthy, if we can probably do it. So even then I was like, I don't know. I mean, I said, let's just try Wyoming and see what it's like. But Wyoming was so wild and woolly and crazy. I was like, oh yeah, let's go for it.
Huh. So I know the AT is more difficult physically, but the CDT is more difficult in just about every other way. Was that a level up in terms of did you know what you're getting yourself into with that? Because you said you didn't really research the AT.
We did because Colorado's pretty wild. I mean, we knew what we were getting into in the West and hiking.
Yeah,
we feel comfortable hiking in the West.
Yeah.
And we knew, and we did the Wind River and a lot of those places.
We had already backpacked in the Wind Rivers a few times.
But we love the CDT. It's our favorite because of the remote areas of the CDT. Just love it. When we were in Wyoming, and we did not see another person on the trail for 3 weeks in Wyoming there, the basin and then into the winds. Because of COVID, and then we were there kind of early, and we were doing that. We started in the middle of the trail, but in the Wind River Range is where we decided to get a spot. We never even really carried an emergency device, but it was full of snow. We're bogging in, falling down.
Yeah,
We had to cross this. The water runoff was so high. We had to cross this. What used to just be kind of this stream or river.
Creek.
You could wade through was over our heads and to this big lake thing. And I stepped in and it just went up to here. And I was like, oh, this is something. And all of a sudden, nobody out there. This person in a red shirt popped up out of nowhere. These are trail magic stories that are, there are some like this that are amazing. So this young woman says, hey, she sees me and she says, hey, don't go across there. I've tried. Don't go across there. She said, I'm going to try this other way, and she points down there, and she said, I'll try to help you guys because I'm going to try down this way. Bailey, her name was Bailey. And so we climb these cliffs, and we go with her, and we get down, and then we cross in a better spot, and we get on the other side, and then she kind of just disappears. She said, you guys okay? And we're like, yeah, we're good. And then, you see this little red shirt, and she's off, and we never heard from her again.
As your guardian angel.
It was
preventing
just
you.
Like that.
Yeah.
It was really wild.
So at that point, I said, we need to get a spot when we get to town, because if somebody gets hurt out here, we had no cell service. Somebody's going to have to leave. You're going to have to be out here, and one person is going to have to walk for days to try to get some help. So let's get a emergency thing. So we did after that. But we loved that remote being out there, though, away from everybody.
If you like to be out there by yourself, that was a great year.
The Wind River is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you're describing, is that type 2 fun? Is that type 1 fun? What are we looking at?
It was really, the trail through Wyoming is really, really beautiful. I mean, it's weird. Like, you do the basin and all that. That's a bizarre kind of hiking, and it's got its own mystique to it. But the Wind Rivers and Yellowstone and all of that, you're just like, oh my God. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, you know, when you're walking through that part of Yellowstone that you do, and the little geyser goes off right next to you, you're like, oh, this is cool. I mean, you know, it's just cool. We were just completely enamored with the wildness of it. You know, don't you think it was just like a pleasure?
Loved it. I'm telling you, I loved every step of every trail. It was
the
amazing.
night skies, you know, you don't see them unless you have to get up to pee because you're already like passed out. But I mean, everything was amazing. Everything, it was just amazing.
So it sounds like obviously the isolation wasn't a struggle for you two. You had each other, and you like that style. Would you describe the CDT as being easier than the AT?
No. I think the remoteness is a level of hard too. You know, if something happens to you, we had longer food carries and water carries, especially for us, because we're not doing big miles. So we had some heavy packs
and
on the CDT.
There's more hazards on this. You know, you have water crossings, you have snow field crossings.
Grizzly bears.
Yes,
you have grizzly bears. You have exposure,
lightning,
just drop off, and you have lightning a lot.
And fire areas, which were overgrown.
We got rerouted in Montana. You know, they just put up a sign, reroute. You know, $5,000 fine or whatever it is if you're caught on the trail. Here's your reroute. The reroute trail was horrendous. It was horrible. It was washed out, burnt out. There was dead log, burnout stuff everywhere. I mean, it was a hazard. Anyway, but the first night on the reroute, we're camping, and we camped right by a stream, and the whole little basin there filled with so much smoke. I mean, it was like, I said, Chris, I was like, this is crazy. I mean, I could barely see her in the tent next to me. I was like, this is nuts. I mean, I know this is the reroute, but are we almost on fire, or is this, you know? We didn't, but it smelled so strong. You know, you're just like, that was crazy. There was some crazy parts to it.
Yeah.
The fire thing has changed, maybe even since when you hiked, if you had done like the CDT instead of the AT, and, you know, when you hiked it in 2011.
Yeah, I had a big gap between the AT and the PCT, and during that gap, that's when the fire started. I hiked the PCT in 2017, and it was like, that was the beginning of the very busy fire stretch. So I've seen it before.
And that changes, you know.
Oh, for sure.
When you're out there, you're like, oh,
you're just
you
waiting
don't know
for
what's
it.
going on.
Yeah,
I mean, you're like, oh.
But I thought the CDT was harder in a lot of ways. The AT was hard in that it was straight up, straight down, and so my Achilles were tired and sore. I mean, you just kind of went where the Western trails kind of zigzag about. You know, you kind of come down and you kind of go. You know, it changes, but which I like. But still, there was other things that was hard about it.
Good, hard fun though. Get out there. I mean, people. I know that some people hesitate for this or that, but you don't have to do the whole thing. Just get out there and do a couple weeks even. You can have a grand time. I mean, you can have all kinds of, mischief.
So much beauty.
And beauty.
Yeah. How many other CDT through hikers do you think you met that year?
Quite a few. Now, because we started in the middle there and we're going up, we started seeing people in Montana.
Yeah.
And then when we flipped over, we saw those same people heading south. So we did catch up with them because so we started way earlier than them. And then as we got in there, they had gotten down to the Colorado border. And so we saw them all the way to the end. But there were quite a few people.
And then by the time we flipped around and did Colorado going south, which, oh my gosh, that was some of the best hiking we ever have done. And then at the New Mexico border, when we dropped into New Mexico, there were you started to see a few more people around.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I think people were like, I could go out and do a section.
Yeah. Is there any CDT specific advice that you'd pass along to someone who's retiree age, or is it just the same general backpacking advice of just like take care of yourself in the off season? Like, is there anything specific about the CDT that
you know what I would say, and a lot of people can't like to go from one end to the other, but doing that flip flop allowed us to hit the snow areas a little bit better. Now, Wyoming, we hit the snow, but Colorado was perfect because we were September in Colorado. And that, I think some people, when they start south, they hit Colorado, and you can't do the high country because of the snow.
Right.
So
You're doing these alternate
end up walking
routes.
the low route, which
And the high route
is a shame.
is fabulous. I think you
Right.
should do the high route if you're going to do Colorado.
Yeah.
So that allowed us to do that whole route where you're up at 12.5 for a long time. That was a gift.
If
That was
you-
a gift.
If you
Same
give
as
up,
the Sierras on the PCT, we did the same thing.
Sierra, the same thing. If you give up the idea of the continuous footpath, where I have to start, at one end and go all the way to the other, you're still going to do the whole thing.
Right.
But starting in the middle, it's almost like hiking smarter.
Sure.
Especially in the Sierra. My God, you don't have to worry about the stream crossings.
We wanted to get there in September in the Sierras, and we because all the snow's gone. It's like sidewalks up there on the top of the mountains, and beautiful. It's just perfect hiking. So we tried to time areas of the trail at the best times to get there for us.
So what was the total duration of the CDT hike with the flip-flop element? Like how many months?
How many months? It was almost 6 months.
Okay.
For
Yeah,
us.
6 is about our.
Yeah.
Yeah, we finished the CDT, and it was starting. The nights were starting to get cold and stuff. And when you get down there to Lordsburg, in New Mexico, and that was COVID, so we were eating outside, and I remember thinking, "This is darn cold. Sit down out here eating at these little, trying to grab your food and sit outside." And
Each trail took us about 6 months.
yeah, but man, it's so much fun. I mean, there is a fun part of it. The hard part, I mean, of course it's hard. I mean, but there is a joyful part to just how crazy it is that you can do it. Everybody talks about that, right? You talk about how this is crazy that you can do this, that you can get on a path and walk all the way to Canada or whatever.
For sure.
You know?
So is it on the CDT that you know that you're going to do the PCT, the sayings you do one trail or you do all three? Like, at what point did you decide that the Triple Crown was in view?
I don't know that we talked about it, but
Yeah, I always had a thought of doing all three of them, just because but we wanted to do Europe too. I wasn't really planning. I have to do it like right this minute, but it just kind of worked out that way. But
when did we meet Mary Poppins? Was that on the CDT
CDT.
part? Yeah. So Mary Poppins trail name, who we love, right? Melissa. We met her, and she is the PCT queen. She is the Sierra queen. That's her life. That's her heart. That's her thing. And I think talking to her about it, we were like, oh yeah, we should do it.
well, and the PCT is one I would want to do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, it just reinforced that idea of let's go for it, kind of thing.
So I'm gathering PCT was also a flip-flop?
yeah.
Yeah.
And starting where? Because 21 was a high snow year.
Chester.
We started in Chester. So I got a southbound permit. But then I called the PCT people, and they let us switch. Once you get, because you can't get a flip-flop on a permit, so you could switch it, though. And so I just called, and she said, well, I would recommend starting in Chester. And and it was easy to do because nobody's starting. People want either ends. So she said, this would be a good time to start. So she totally set us up, and we did, and it was perfect. We didn't have any snow all the way to and we followed the wildflowers all the way to it was just perfect.
It was amazing. It was the year of the heat dome. There's a heat dome over Oregon and Washington. So it was really hot in Oregon. We had some heat stuff. But when we got to Washington, it was like great weather.
It was a big fire year.
When did you
though.
start? Like
We
what date?
I think
27th of May.
May.
26th, May 26th, maybe.
Okay.
And we made it through that northern part of California, and then made it all the way. But by the time we got into Oregon, almost into Washington, a fire broke out in the northern part. So people coming south missed a huge part of California. And then when we flip-flopped back around, Tahoe was burning. So we had to skip over that and get to the Sierras, and then they closed. So we came here to Colorado and did the collegiate loop. Then they opened back up, and we started there and finished. So the Tahoe area we missed because it was on fire.
Yeah, Kennedy, yeah.
Going from one immediately to the other is probably an interesting perspective to compare them to, because we've obviously had a lot of people who've done the PCT and the CDT, and people who've done the Colorado Trail and the JMT, but usually it's like 1 year I did this, 1 year I did that. Going from the Collegiate West to the Sierra, which one would you say is harder? Just those sections, not the whole trails, just like the
Okay,
collegiates
so
versus the
I
Sierra.
would say the collegiates
The
for me.
collegiates are harder because of the altitude.
Mm.
Because of the altitude. It's the
There
altitude
was-
is a factor that you don't have at all on the AT. You know, you just don't have it. You never even think
Well,
about
but
it.
in the Sierras, but the Sierras,
But the Sierras are not that high.
Don't impact
They're like
me
9s,
like that.
You know?
yeah, I would say the collegiate, because I came back and we thought we were in good shape because we had hiked,
We were in good shape. That
You
was
know,
the problem.
most of
we
the
were trying
PCT
to.
and I was, but there was a whole group of us that there was a group of young people too that came back and did that same thing, and then went back.
They
But
came to the collegiates.
I saw them because I was following on Instagram how they struggled on that collegiate, and I thought, well, we're not the only ones. We all got like altitude sickness. I don't know what happened, but we were all sick.
It was the only time we've ever had altitude sickness, but I read about it and it said that people who are in shape often will get altitude sickness because they're pushing themselves beyond what their body is messaging them.
Because you think you can go fast. You're used to kind of going your pace, but when you get to altitude, you can't go that pace, or you get,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You know.
so your body is telling you to slow down. Your body's telling you this, and you're just like, come on.
I'm in shape.
Ego saying speed up.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All my questions are more general. I like that you're keeping us on chronological. I've just got like random,
Take us to
you
random
know.
town.
So I'll just veer you steer the ship. I'll veer the ship.
Veer us.
What is every question I'm going to ask, I would say, is like vice versa. If it's something like your funniest moment, like what did they do that was funny? But for this one, what would you each say was your spookiest or scariest moment on trail? And it doesn't have to be about the other person, but this one can be about you.
Okay, well, we got swept down the river, the North Fork of the Buffalo in Wyoming
On the
Um,
CDT?
on a CDT, and Lynn was with us still, and so there were 3 of us, and we were trying to, well, whatever, that part doesn't even matter, but we got swept away.
All
just
three.
say
All
that,
3 of
all
us.
3 of us.
Oh, shit.
But I was leading on that side, so I kind of dove into the deeper water, and I got to the other side. And Kristy was on the
Shallow side.
shallow side, and she just got ripped.
I got
mean,
raked across the wall.
Oh
the
man,
rocks.
she just got beat up
And I got stuck on a branch sticking out
on a snag.
with my
She's-
back like this. The water's coming this way, and a branch is kind of sticking out on that side where I was, and I'm stuck there. And I tried to move, and I couldn't move.
Did you ditch your pack, or you still have your pack
Still on my
on?
back.
unhooked, but
Unhooked, but it's still on my back, and it's up against this thing. And all of a sudden, the water comes up my body.
Yeah,
So
you
my
have
head
the
isn't underwater, but
rooster
the water
tails.
starts coming up. And I thought, this is how people die. They get stuck on something. I actually thought this is how people die. So as the water comes up, I turn to catch my breath. And I don't know if I moved my back enough or water got behind there, but somehow it pushed me out. And I was free. And I'm going down the river. I see Lynn grabbing a branch that was sticking out in the water in an
she's in
eddy.
an eddy.
And I go by her and grab that branch. It took everything I had to get out. It was so powerful. I dug 1 foot into the bank. There happened to be a tree up on the bank. I was able to put my arm around it. I mean, it was really a big struggle. It took me a while. I finally get into that little eddy. And then I'm thinking, where's Annette? And so I kind of look, you're kind of afraid. I kind of look up and I see Annette standing on the other side of the river.
What's it like for you to just be watching this?
Well, okay, so I
Helpless.
I had just gotten. I climbed up some willows and got on that side of the bank, and you couldn't hear because the water is roaring. So I couldn't. I'm trying to yell over to him. So finally, could see that Kristy was bleeding, and Lynn kind of looked like she was not okay, just,
Trauma.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to cross back over this creek, which was really, really something to get. I was like, okay, I better do it fast without thinking about it.
Are you the tallest? Like what?
Well, because
or
I
are
was
you
the
going to
only
get
one-
stuck too?
I was the only one on that side, right? So I was like, okay, it's going to be me. So I just like
It was scary to
started,
watch her.
got my stick, and my sticks were just like going, whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, the water was just rushing. And
She
I
made
made
it.
it across, but I mean, I was leaning into it, It was dramatic. Like, and then once I got back across, it was more about, Kristy was really beat up. So she had like big, huge goose eggs on her legs and her arms, and she got this big cut here, and she's bleeding, and her mouth was bleeding. And so then it was more just about, okay, what are we going to do?
Well, then we had to find our way out because we didn't get across, so we couldn't take that part of the trail. We were
Yeah.
just close to a stopping point, a
Yeah.
little.
But so that was scary, and it was kind of scary for both. It was scary to see Kristy in that was really scary, and it was also scary for me to be like, oh my God.
But
I'm gonna try and cross this thing. This is crazy. So I'm looking downstream, thinking, okay, if I get in, I'm gonna dive for that part, and it'll take me that way. And I had a whole.
It's always
plan
bad when you're thinking about where am I going to swim to when I fall.
Right, exactly. But that was my thought. So
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I remember processing. So we had to find another way out, which we did. But I remember thinking when we applied everything to do. So I wasn't like
yeah,
totally traumatized, but it was like, okay, this thing happened. We applied what we needed to do. We got out. We're good.
yeah, you're good. You didn't die. You're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Wow.
this was during the CDT?
Mm-hmm.
Was this pre-spot or post-spot?
It was pre-spot, because that's when Juliet met us right after that, and that's when I bought the. She
That's
brought the
right.
spot.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did
So
you
now-
eventually do that section? How did you...
Well, in a low water time, that would be no problem
Right.
at all. None.
Yeah.
I just
So our
cross over.
problem was normally we cross individually. Like when Annette came, we just go. We tried to link arms and get all three of us across there, and that didn't work.
Right. did
So
not
we
work.
learned that didn't work.
Yeah.
You're better
it's on the Yellowstone website as a way to
Yeah.
to safely cross. It
didn't work.
It didn't work for us, but I think when you say, what would you tell people who are thinking about doing the CDT, to get a textable emergency device. Like we have our old spot that just sends a message, but you can't text and say, somebody's got a broken leg or whatever, which I think is really valuable and worth the money. So we'll probably go to that, but that having that does give you a measure of a backup. You're like, okay, I know that I can, if something happens, I can communicate with somebody and do something. Just make sure you put it in a place where it stays on you. But because that was a scary thing. That was scary.
Mm-hmm.
Any more spooky stories you want to relay?
I think the other stories are, we've had bears, but they weren't really, it happened so fast you don't even have a chance to be afraid, We stayed at a hostel on the AT where the hostel owner he felt dangerous. He was a little psycho, he was aggressive, and
That was.
Is this a
Scary.
hostel that still exists?
He actually passed away.
yeah, he died. But that was really scary because I think everybody that was in there was kind of like in their mind working an emergency plan, like, okay.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And
And
people were in a fetal position on their bed.
You're just like, God, I just want this night to end,
Really? So there were some things like that, but
But that's like the, one in a however many, because for the most part, all your experiences are.
and that year we did the AT. The guy was murdered. There's
Where were you guys when that happened? Because it happened right around the what is it they call the Hilton, the something Hilton, the shelter.
The Fontana Dam?
Yeah. No, maybe it wasn't the Fontana. It started with a P. There was. Do you remember where
It
it was?
must be 200 miles behind us. Right?
Yeah.
Is that okay? You guys were
and I
ahead
can't
of it
remember
too.
where we were.
I was ahead of it,
Yeah,
but
we
you
were
guys
ahead of
were
it.
going
Yep.
at a different pace.
We were 200 miles ahead of him.
Got it. Had you
Yeah.
ever bumped into him?
No.
Okay.
Oh, glad.
Yeah.
That was horrible. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
horrible story.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff, and I remember at the time being, you feel, we were up ahead and there was never a threat, but you feel connected on that path. Like there's something dangerous on this path somewhere that felt uneasy, because there for a while they were looking for him, and if you see him and you're just like, wow, that was kind of, I think people are more, I'm more afraid of people that are out there doing stuff like that than I am animals.
Well, we did it as a question of the day for one of the previous episodes recently, the bear or human question, where it was like, would you
Right.
rather see a bear in the
Oh,
woods
yeah.
or a man in the woods? And we were going back and forth with I was saying it depends on the man.
It does, yeah.
Like, is it a guy in hiking clothes that's hiking past me? Because, like, totally normal, but,
Right.
it depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well,
guys
and
take the
and-
bear, too?
Well, I would say similar to you. I mean, most men I meet on a trail are fabulous.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be going, oh my God, it's a man, and you know what I mean. But maybe the bear's more predictable
Yeah.
because you don't know who they are. Where a bear, you kind of know. They kind of do the same behavioral patterns, or there's certain thing that you can do that keeps you safe. You know what I mean? Like,
I said I'd take the bear over a man in jeans with no backpack.
yeah,
Because that's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you belong here as much as someone with a big backpack and the
Right.
little short shorts.
Right.
Like, that's predictable.
yeah.
Mhm.
But for the most part, my experience with men on the trail is positive. I would see a man say, hey, how's it going? I mean,
Yeah.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
it's not fearful to me, but
We did meet some guys who would say to us, and I think it only because we're women, oh, you better be careful up here. Oh my gosh, I crossed this snow. I thought I was going to die. I had to cross this snowfield, and then then we're like, oh, well, we're going that way, so we're going to have to do it, And so we would we'd do the whole thing, and then we'd be like,
what was he talking
what was he
about?
talking about? Like, we just did this whole section, and there was, just funny stuff like that, where you're like, I don't know, funny, that's just funny stuff.
You going to steer us or veer us?
No, veer. When do you start getting the fanfare? The YouTube's gaining traction. When do you get people reaching out, being like, come to my house, I love your videos?
Whenever we're in their area, if they're watching, like if we're going to do the PCT and they're like, oh, I'm Trail Angel on the PCT, would love for you to stay. The Tahoe Rim, that the woman rode and said we could stay.
It started, on the popularity of the YouTube definitely picked up on the Appalachian Trail, because people started watching, because they watched them.
it.
We didn't know people watched them, but then and then when people see you staying at somebody else's house, they're like, oh wow, I could do that. That'd be something fun. I could talk about hiking with them or something. So we don't have that. I mean, what do we have, like 16, 17,000? I mean, like people get amazing numbers of followers for like being in their van.
Sure.
Like van people get huge followings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's this one, I watched a little bit of it the other night, and she kind of drove me nuts, but I was like, my God, she's got like 40,000 followers, I was like, that's incredible.
Speaking of trail magic, what is your best trail magic that you've gotten?
Gosh, there's so much. So many. But an amazing one was right before we were washed down that river. We were in the backcountry of Yellowstone, and we were running out of food. We were getting close to the resupply, and we were really short on food because it was a long stretch, and we stretch out our food, let me tell you, because we're trying to go light. So we had just climbed kind of a mountain, and we were tired, and I felt kind of weak. I said, man, I'm kind of feeling this, not having a lot of food. So we stopped to take a break, and I'm counting out my peanuts, a couple of pieces of dried fruit, and I thought, God, I'm so hungry. I want to eat so bad. And then we turned around, and there were horses, 4 people on horses coming. No, we hadn't seen anybody. So we all moved out of the way. We were right in the middle of the trail, and so we stood up, moved over, and they asked what we were doing, and they said, well, do you need anything? Do you need any food or anything? So we were like, well, we could use some food. So they start pulling out of their saddlebags food and throwing it at us. Banana, apple, potato chip. I mean, and I finally said, this is good, this is good. The woman behind the one woman said, give them your cheeseburger. I'll share my cheeseburger with you. Cheeseburger comes flying at us with lettuce and tomato in a little baggie. Then the guy gets off and opens his saddlebag and gets this big bag with 2 homemade turkey sandwiches, homemade cookies, chips. I mean, and I said, you don't have to give us that. And they said, we have way too much food. So they leave, and we have a pile of food sitting on the ground like this big. So we start cutting it into 3s and eating, and then we save some for later. And that night, so we camp, and then we eat the rest of the food. And 3 hikers come by, and they talk to us, and they are the ones that told us this other way that they came in. So we knew that way out the next day when we needed it. So we felt like when we got washed down that river, that extra food helped us survive that river. And the people that walked by helped us know which way to go to get out. It was like, that was like an amazing thing.
It was an amazing thing. That was darn good food, too.
But there was so many stories. I mean, really, the trail magic stories and the people that just showed up are just things that happen out of the blue on the trail.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, the trail provides. And it just such a trite saying, but I feel like, when you're at your lowest and you need something, it's
happens.
Odd how many times it actually comes through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk about post Triple Crown stuff and the non-backpacking stuff, because you did the Tahoe Rim Trail, Arizona Trail. We've talked about both those trails a lot on this podcast. I want to fill me in on the adventures outside of backpacking.
We did the Slovene Mountain Trail. I just want to throw that in because it's so fabulous. Amazing.
We went through 3 different Alps.
Ranges of Alps in Slovenia.
Where does it start and end?
Well, it starts on the border of Austria, and you walk all the way down to the coast. And I mean, you're in the Alps. It's fabulous.
It's hut to hut.
It's hut to hut. Takes a little planning, but man, that was a great trip.
Say the name of it again.
It's the Slovene Mountain Trail.
How long is it?
It's 350 miles or something like that.
That's not bad. What time of year do you do it?
We did it in
August.
July.
End of July. Yeah.
Is it like the same seasons?
Mm-hmm.
It might have been August. It might have been August when we did that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, August, November. August, September,
yeah, because
November.
they were starting to close the
October,
huts at the end there.
Yeah, because we came back in October.
Yeah. But that was a great trail, too.
Do you see wildlife on it? Or is it just like through the Alps?
Yeah, not a lot of wildlife.
Oh, we saw the ibex.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, those were cool.
Is it technical?
We had a Via Ferrata kit on one part of it. The Triglau is their big mountain. Like if you climb Triglau, you're considered to be Slovenian. So we're Slovenian now, which we like because they were fabulous people. But they do have cables that you could hook into, but we found that we didn't really need it. We did have one, but we didn't really need it.
They do have some cabled sections, and it's nice to have the cable.
Yeah.
But you can just wear gloves and hold on. We didn't have to have the whole kit.
But you wear a helmet
There's
because
some
the rocks could come down.
We had helmets with us and wore those. Yeah.
Are these things you're carrying for the entirety of the mileage, or is it the huts provide it?
You can, the hostel, we got that, when we borrowed those from the hostel, we rented them for that section, and then we had to bring them back to that hostel.
Yeah.
Which you could catch a bus and come back, and, you were able to do that. But because we didn't want to carry it in the helmet the whole time. I mean, you don't need it.
And I'm sure people do it without a helmet, but I was glad to have a helmet on some of those.
Mm-hmm.
But
there were parts of the AT where I thought I should have had a helmet.
There's crazy
in the
parts,
lights,
weren't there,
I was
whether
like,
you get
if
to
I
a part,
fall, I'm dead.
You're like looking down there going, is this it?
Yeah, and it's raining and wet, and you're like, okay.
So I gather that you're not bothered by exposure.
No, we're both pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
we're
nice.
both pretty good.
Yeah.
But our recent pack rafting trip was just like fabulous.
Tell us about that.
Was this the Noah top?
And
Noah
I'm going to give a shout out to Alpaca Rafts because they are just...
That alpaca raft, it's like an old Volkswagen. You know how they had a will to live? They'll just keep going no matter what? that alpaca raft will float. I mean, it
doesn't want to turn over.
It was amazing, the stuff we went through. Yeah.
So you pack all your stuff right in the tubes of the raft and then zip it up, pump it up.
Yeah.
And then when you get to your stopping point, you let the air out, you unzip it, you pull all your gear out of the tubes of the raft, and it's just amazing.
And then do it the next day. And
it's designed to backpack with, too. So the pack weighs like 8 pounds. And you can...
the raft.
I mean, the raft.
Does
so
one person have to carry it, or does it come apart so that both of you can share parts of it?
Well, we each have our own.
Oh, you're each on your own raft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's really cool. Those pack rafts, I mean, it's like, that was really cool. But the Arctic experience of being out there in the gates of the Arctic, and we couldn't stop talking about how quiet it was.
Can we take a step back, and can you tell us the name of the river one more time and where this trip started and ended, how long it was, just like the little brief facts so we can paint the picture?
Yep. So we flew from Fairbanks to Bettles, which is just a little airstrip type area, and then you take a float plane from there out to the headwaters of the Noatak River, and they drop you off at this Pingo Lake. They land, drop you off. You walk about 200 yards to the river. And it flows all the way out to the Bering Sea. But we stopped a little bit before the Bering Sea at the Noatak village, which is a little Inuit village. But all of that, it was 350 mile along this river. And the river, you start at the headwaters, but as you go down, more and more rivers run into it. So that you watch this river just grow into this major waterway. But there's no civilization out there the entire time until you get to that little Noatak. For 350 miles, there's nothing.
There's like not a wire, not a building,
not a road,
not a sound, not a
it's designed to be pure nature. I mean, like miles of just total nature.
If you read the mission statement of the Gates of the Arctic from the first guy that was, he basically said, I want it to be nothing. I don't want it to have
be untouched.
Any kind of order, any kind of place you go, like start here. It is what it is, and you are just out there, and you can experience that total wilderness. And you really feel it. I mean, it was a completely different feel. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What time of the year was this?
August.
Yeah.
August.
All of August, pretty
much. So you're getting a little bit of nighttime at that point, right?
It was pretty light.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get kind of a little bit
dusky look
dusky
to it.
Okay.
Are you needing to have any sort of rafting skills? Like, is this a river that gets technical, or is this like...
No, it's class 1 and 2.
They call it 2+.
2+. It can be more depending on how much water's flowing.
So there's quite a lot of rapids actually that you go through.
But doable.
But very doable, but fun, really fun. I mean, you get kind of a buzz going, and it's just that experience of. I
felt like I was on an expedition.
Yeah,
I called it an expedition. Like, I'm out
really,
there,
really different,
exploring and dealing with the elements, and you're so far away from it. Everything needs to go right. Your boat needs to work. If you get a hole in your boat, your zipper,
you have
we
all
made
this
a plan
emergency
for that.
stuff that you have with you. You have this emergency patch kit, and we had extra stuff. We had all this stuff, but yeah.
How much pack rafting had you done previous to this?
Zip.
So did you feel confident that if you did sustain a hole in the packs, you'd be able to field repair?
Yeah. I watched those videos like 50 times. I felt pretty like, okay, I'm YouTube educated on how to do emergency patches. But and the woman that we went with this woman who lives in Anchorage, and she had more experience. So...
is this a friend? Is this like a guided trip?
No,
What's the context?
It was somebody who watches our videos, who wrote us on Instagram and said she's wanted to do this river, but she's having a hard time finding people her age to do it. And would you guys want to do it? Would it be some kind of adventure? And I said, I don't know, maybe. So we kind of just thought, yeah, that'd be cool. So then we started researching the pack rafts, and that's quite a story, that business and how that got started. That they have quite a story. But just, yeah, we have plans to do more.
That pack raft is started by it's really a mom and her son, and she started designing boats for him.
Well, he did a trip in Alaska on these, and he backpacked, but in the waterways he would use these little like pool floaty things, and he said it's just not good enough. I need you to build me a boat when he gets back. When he got back, so she built a boat out of a shower curtain, like a raft thing, and he thought that's good. That's good enough for me.
She was an outdoor. She made outdoor clothing. She had a business anyway, but she gets into this boat thing, and she's like a savant. She becomes like this pack raft. She's made all these amazing. She's like moved the sport forward by. I mean, it's a great story.
He said I was satisfied with my little shower curtain boat, but she just kept building boats. He said she just kept building them, and she's amazing.
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
So that was fun.
That was super fun. That was fun.
You said the raft is 8 pounds. Can it fit in like your standard backpack?
You would probably carry it on the outside, like roll it and attach it.
Okay.
I mean, you could fit it, but if you had other stuff in there,
if you had other stuff.
It'd be tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine being that far out there, if it were me, animals would be a very scary factor of it. And it sounds like you guys had some encounters with some scary animals. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, we had a grizzly night 2.
We had a weirdly friendly, or not friendly, but that got really close to us and stayed really close to us.
But it was
a younger male, probably a year-old male.
And we saw it cross.
I don't know if it
we
was
saw
male.
it cross this
They
little
had to know.
creek, and then it was in the bushes. I never felt afraid because it wasn't showing any. But you're kind of like, I don't know. You pick up on what it feels like too. Like I didn't feel like it was coming after us. But a little bit later, it was laying on the sandbank, not too far behind us. Oh my God! It flattened out like a dog, just flattened out. And every time we'd look at it, it'd stretch.
It's rolling around like
it was convincing us, like, I'm teddy bear.
Come rub my belly.
And we'd sat there for a long time. It was like a couple of hours. Every time we'd look, it yawn. So it didn't seem, aggressive. So then pretty soon it got up, kind of looked at us, and then it walked, and it got in the water and went for a swim, and it got out and rolled around on its back. It was way down the beach, and then it went into the bushes way down there. So I'm thinking it's not even interested in us. And so a little while later, we were tying our bags up on a bush. You didn't have a tree. And we tied them, and we put a motorcycle alarm on them.
What's a motorcycle alarm?
It's this cool little thing.
It's this little thing, and you have this little remote, and you set it so if it moves, it'll go off. So we thought
smart.
we thought it'll scare the bear off, or warn us, and So I went over to the bushes and I tied the bag, and I went, I forgot to get my alarm. So as I'm walking back, I turn around and the bear is on my bag. And oh my God. So I get the alarm, I get it going off in my hand because I have it in my hand. Annette is blowing a whistle, and Barb, and we all are just going towards the bear, slowly, making noise. And it backs up. And Barb's bag's are way over here. It leaves my bag, but I see it looking, and I said, oh no, it's like a dog, really. So it starts heading to Barb's, and so we just start heading towards it, making noise. And at some point, it looks at us like it's afraid of us, and it takes off running, and we never saw it again. Oof. But
they're big, even though they're younger. It's still, you look at their.
It's a fucking
grizzly
bear.
It's a grizzly bear. And I just thought, there's no way you're going to take my food on night 2.
Yeah, we were like, yeah.
Well, but you're smart about it. I mean, we're not going to go. I mean, and I had the bear spray. I had bear spray and the alarm going off.
The motorcycle alarm's genius.
Yeah, it was genius. That was Barb's idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Annette and I would pile our bags kind of together, tie them up, and we tied them thinking they would have to work a little bit to get it. And maybe we could get out and scare them off in time, but we'd set one little alarm on there. I'd have the remote in the tent.
When I was teaching, I did this unit, National Geographic enabled science classes to do this thing with the wolves in Yellowstone. And one of the people that we had live interview with was their biologist, who was also their safety guy. And so the kids were asking him about animal encounters, right? Like what about the wolf? What about the bears? And this guy said, I tell everybody to carry a whistle. And if you, a bear, a wolf, what he said, you just start blowing the heck out of that thing.
And
just
Annette did.
And
She
I mean,
just
I was
went.
like going nuts with this whistle. And the bear is like looking at you like, man, what is up with you? But so I think
Yeah.
carrying a whistle with you in grizzly country is a really good idea, and just start blowing the heck out of it, because they don't particularly care for it.
Did you have any more grizzly encounters on that trip?
We did not. We saw another one, but it was on the other side of the river one
Yeah.
morning.
And we really, that is one of the weird things there, is how there are no animals. There are no anything. There's like we would see one seagull and be like, and really pay attention to it.
It's not like they're not there, but it's so much territory without any people. They're just spread out.
It's so huge. Toward, I don't know, like week 2, toward the end of week 2, there were a bunch of Arctic terns, and they hung out together. They're very.
What's an Arctic tern?
It's a bird. And they're very gregarious, and they're very playful, and they fly and they flip and they do all this stuff. And there was probably like 15 or 20 of those together. That was the biggest animal mass.
Well, and we saw wolverine.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was really cool. I've never seen a wolverine in the wild, so that was just like, oh, it was cool.
That's cool.
And we saw a moose crossing the river,
Is it difficult to sleep with it never getting that dark?
I thought it might be. We brought like little masks, but I didn't even use it, and I slept like a baby every night.
I had
it
my
just didn't
sleep
bug me.
mask. It was colder. It got colder, and I started using my balaclava thing. I just put it over my eyes. But yeah, it didn't bother me either, really. I mean, I was okay with it. The weird thing was we got chilblains.
What's that?
It's like not frostbite.
But it's the step before.
It's the step before, and super weird and painful, and
Our feet. You wouldn't have. You learn as you go, because I will do it different next time. But you're sitting in the raft and your feet are like this, so the circulation's running out of your toes, and then it's freezing cold. Not every day, but there were some days at the end that got so cold that my toes were frozen solid, and I couldn't move. Like when you're hiking and your toes get really cold, and you hike and you get blood going, and after a while you can't do that. So our toes got damaged in that, where we had these.
You get like.
They were like red and swollen, and
It makes your cells leak. I read about it, of course, after.
Like the.
Your cells leak a fluid, and you get really tender and swollen. And I had it in my hands too. You didn't have it in your hands. I had it in my hands and my feet, and you're just like, oh, this is horrible.
A couple weeks after we got back, I mean, I was still dealing with the healing from that. Then all your skin peels off of your wherever you get. It was like unbelievable. So I don't know. I would do something different. I would wear.
I think we didn't, that was our first trip, and we're not Alaska people. That was my first time in Alaska, and I didn't really, I think I would take chemical warmers, and
Something.
I would take you have to find some kind of shoe that is really tall, that you can get some super fluff socks in.
Something. You'd have to do something different.
Yeah,
because you can't get that. So we would pull over, and we'd walk up and down the gravel bar, trying to get circulation into our feet. And you would get enough to get back in the boat. That was tough.
Yeah, that was a hard part of that.
How are you guys knowing where to camp? Is it like a normal long distance trail where you can check a map and it'll show you where campsites are, or is it because it's so remote, just any time you're tired, you pull over and you find a flat spot?
Yeah, you just wherever you want.
It's all sandbars. You camp on sandbars, so.
Which could be underwater.
You kind of look for ones that are higher, but then we got in this flood situation while we were out there, where the water, I mean, really, there was so much water that came up, and I mean,
and all the gravel bars are
all
gone.
the gravel bars, of course, disappear because they're all flooded, right? They're all underwater, and then you can't. It's so dense. It's not like you can walk into the
tundra
and camp. I mean, it's just like absolute density, So
we found a place,
you
but then the
always
water dropped, and then but there were times where
there
you're
were
just
some crazy times in there.
Were there times you were in your tent, like sleeping or getting ready in the morning, and the water would rise?
No, if it was rising, it was very slow.
Mm.
It wasn't like a big wall of water that came down. It would it rained really hard for a day and a half, and it rained in different areas, and then those streams run in, and then that river ran, and so then it would just slowly. So you would notice. We noticed by the movement of the water, we were flying, didn't even have to paddle. We were just moving along. Water was unbelievable, and then we were like, the sandbars are gone. So we knew that the water was higher. And then one day you could tell when we camped, the next day the water was way out here. Like it slowly drops.
The river that was feeding in was just completely brown with, there's no trees, there's just bushes. And it had, all kinds of vegetation floating in it and stuff. And I was like, man, this is like a real flood coming in here. It was a little bit scary.
Yeah. Are there a lot of mosquitoes?
We didn't have a whole lot.
No.
Everybody warned us about
the perfect time because mosquitoes love me.
We didn't have
I got
a
a few bites, but nothing like.
Huh. I just picture Alaska water.
Yeah.
It sounds like mosquito hell, but
it was kind of colder.
If we hadn't been camping on sandbars, if we had been out in the bush, the vegetation
might have been worse.
It would have been, there'd be bugs.
Yeah.
But on the sandbar, because it's rock and sand and washes out all the time. Yeah. That was a cool experience. That was a really cool experience.
So what are the biggest differences for your gear for a trip like this compared to like a traditional thru hike?
We tried to keep it similar, but we had to take 3 weeks of food, so we had more food. But of course you have the boat to carry it. But as far as our sleeping pad or sleeping bag or tent, we use the same stuff. Now, but I threw in a chair, one of those folding chairs. I usually don't take backpacking. And a little bit more clothes. We had a dry suit on.
Yeah, you have to carry a dry suit. You have to wear a dry suit.
In Alaska, you have to. And it really came in handy because when it rained, it kept you dry too. So that dry suit was, but you're wearing that, so you weren't like carrying it. But I had so warm clothes underneath that, like long underwear and a wool shirt and wool socks underneath that. So more clothes than I would on a thru. But we really tried to keep it light. You could carry more. I mean, really, the boat could carry a bunch.
Yeah.
But you're traveling. You're on that airplane, and then you have to catch your airplane at the end so you're trying not to have a big whole bunch of stuff that you're.
Yeah. How cold is it getting at night?
I mean, I got in 30s at a couple of times there.
Yeah, the low 30s. Yeah. It wasn't.
If it rained,
it was
warmed
icy.
up.
It would ice the tent, but.
It was just a few days, though. It wasn't
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
I'm picturing Arctic Circle. I imagine it getting way colder than that. I know it's August, but
I think if you're in that window, you have that opportunity to be out there. I never got cold. At night, I was fine. It was only in the boat after.
And it was my feet.
And
it was my toes.
It was just cold, rainy, windy, blowing in your, it was just like, okay, I can't. So then I was like, I got to get smarter here. So I started doing like all kinds of stuff as I'm in the boat,
Just to keep your circulation.
With I'm moving around. I'm doing my feet. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm bringing my knees up to my chest. I mean, because I was like, I got to do something.
It was really cold. In Colorado, at 30 degrees, I wouldn't go get in a raft and raft around.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something you would choose to do.
Right.
I mean, you just don't do water stuff at 30 degrees. So that was totally different.
Yeah, the alpaca pack raft guy, his name is Thor, right? Thor? He was talking about, he did this in college. He went to actually Colorado College, and it was one of those summer adventure things where they get a grant and they do it. And he said that they would raft until somebody got hypothermic and then they would stop.
And so when people started slurring, then we know what's happening.
When you're listening to it, you kind of think he's joking, and then you're out there and you're like, oh. He's totally serious.
Yeah,
I mean,
someone's lips are blue. Like, all
you're
right,
getting
the
hypothermic.
mood ring is telling us we're done.
But we recommend it. Like that, going out to the Arctic thing, that was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
So I know you guys have a ton of adventures, just even from RVing to cycling, kayaking. What does the future hold? I know you're trying to maximize experiences. How do you decide between, am I going to go on a through hike? Am I going to do another pack raft? Am I going to be on the bike? Like what's the next year, 2 years, 3 years?
Well, we'll definitely do some more pack rafting, some smaller trips, more local trips, because it was fun. It's really fun. We'd like to do some biking, longer bike trips in Europe or Korea, maybe, now that I saw that one. But
there's different hikes that we want to do, but right now I'm dealing with my dad. And so I'm trying to figure out how to do that and work in adventures at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's where we are right now. So we don't have a big thing planned. We want to do, we were talking about maybe doing the Buckskin Canyon in Utah down to Lee's Ferry, and then as a backpack. It's not a long one, but it's a backpack through those slot canyons.
With our pack rafts.
And then get a and then do pack rafting over there too, in that area. So that's something we're going to try to fit in like April, May. But I have to see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's a totally different moment right now for us.
Yeah, so we're just trying to do what we can do. We're in a holding pattern. So we're staying in shape, and we're planning trips.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we started saying that if you kind of plan them as these little block units, like Lego units, like, oh, let's just plan this. Like, oh, here's a 4-week trip. Let's plan this trip, and we'll have it kind of in our pocket.
And then we plug it in when we have that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's fun to know that your fans can suggest ideas to you, and you might take them up on it.
And
so
we do a lot.
Yeah,
we did a trip in Chile this spring, and that was recommended to somebody we met on the trail.
Yeah. That
the
was
O-Loop. And we were like, oh, yeah, we're going to go do that there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah.
No. There's so many things
to
do that it's just hard to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have either of you hiked in Europe at all?
I just did Tour de Mont Blanc like a month ago or so.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So we know that one's fabulous, right?
Yeah. Fabulous, a little crowded for my taste, but the Alps were amazing.
Yeah, the Alps are beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested in the Hexatrek in France.
Yeah.
I've read a couple different articles about it, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool.
And there was another one called the Dreamway.
Yeah, the Dreamway, which goes from Munich
to Vienna.
You cross over and go to Venice. To Venice.
Ooh.
From Munich to Venice.
Oh, that sounds
Like
nice.
And there's people in Slovenia. One guy said he did it twice.
Yeah.
And there was somebody else talking about it.
We met 3 different people that told us it was their favorite hike in Europe.
Interesting.
So in 2011, we did a bike ride from Germany through Austria. And we were on the train coming back, and a guy said to us, if you ever get a chance, hike in Slovenia. So I made a little mental note of that. That was in 2011. So that's why we ended up in Slovenia, is because he recommended it. He said, I'm telling you, it's fabulous. So
yeah. And it lived up to the hype?
Yes.
Good.
But that's how we learn about things. The other people will be like, oh, man, this is
the
fabulous.
The people of Slovenia are fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, we are fortunate, too, that we learn so much talking to people like you and commenters, and everyone's so well educated on this stuff that I don't have to do any research. People are coming at me with it. Well, cool. This has been a ton of fun. Please let people know where they should go to keep up with you, the YouTube, social media, and anything else.
Yeah, we post. It's our title is Wander Women, Kristy and Annette
on YouTube
and on Instagram
and on
Facebook.
Facebook, are
Wander Women RVsters.
Yeah, that's our RVsters one. RV, yeah, Wander Women RVsters. But
yeah.
Great. Well, you guys are living life right. You're a good inspiration for me. So thank you for coming out.
I know, it's so fun.
Thanks
Thanks for asking
us.
us.
Fun talking to you guys.
Good seeing you guys again.
Yeah.
To the Trek propaganda portion of today's show. I always read the articles before we do the Trek propaganda, and I did not today. So I'm just going to do the quick synopsis, and I have full faith that they're excellent because Katie Jackson always does the best work. This one is Desert Hiking Clothing, the Backpacker's Guide. I don't even know what there is to say about it. I haven't read it, so go check it out. If you're curious about how to layer for the desert, Katie does the best work, so she's got you covered.
Love that.
What's your system?
For the desert?
Mm-hmm.
Avoid it.
Just don't go to the desert.
Avoid it.
What'd you do on the PCT?
It's really take advantage of the not hottest hours of the day. Siesta hard. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Find any shade you can and sit under it.
Yeah.
Night hiking was great. Early morning hiking was great. But just adapting the day so that you're not out there in the hottest part of the sun was crucial for me as a ginger who doesn't do well in heat.
Yeah. I know you're not a umbrella guy, but I am. Some umbrellas clutch for me.
I mean, at one point in life, I probably would consider it.
Is this a future point, a past point?
No, like in the future, if I were to be in the desert and have an umbrella, I would maybe consider it. But I would think that maybe I would
Is it now that you're married, you're not concerned with your appearance?
Yes, that's exactly it. Because I've been so concerned on trails with how I look.
I know. You're constantly getting feedback on your fashion choices.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this will be this is just me letting loose.
The married life has changed you.
Yeah.
Like carrying umbrellas.
No, I don't know. I'm not a desert person. I don't understand the people that are. The people that love the desert and I nod along and I'm like, it sounds like you think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I believe that you think it's really cool.
Yeah. Give me the tunnel before the desert. That's certainly like high mountain landscapes, but desert's not my cup of beer. Question of the day. This is yours.
Yes, this one I saw in the Facebook group Women's Backpacking Beginners and Mentors. And I thought it was interesting, and I thought the comments were interesting. And the person wrote, silly question, but how does one dry out the inside of their water bladder when you're done using it? It stays flat and wet inside, and I'd hate for mold to grow due to the constant moisture. And this is something I've never thought about, like, because through hiking I use like a smart water bottle, but backpacking and day hiking, previously, like I have water bladders that I've gotten from REI, and my method is just I put them in the closet. They start to look gross. I feel guilt about throwing them out because I think that there is a way to clean them. I don't really know how to do it. And then eventually I cave and get a new one. And now I've got this graveyard of gross looking water bladders in a bin in the garage that I won't throw out, but I also won't use.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good question of the day because if I'm doing that, I'm sure at least one other person listening might be doing that. And so I wanted to share the response that I had seen on Facebook most commonly in the comments, which was someone had mentioned that they put theirs in the freezer between uses to avoid molding. And then someone else commented back, I've been doing this for years and never any damage. Someone was worried that it might crystallize the material or damage it somehow, and other people were saying no. And then someone else said, I do the same, but with just the tiniest amount of water left after getting bigger amounts out. So it sounds like freezing your water bladder is a technique that people do, and I thought that was a cool tip.
Yeah. I've never done anything.
No, me neither.
I think I just drink mold.
Yeah. But
I mean,
knowing this now, if I were to get a new water bladder, I would consider freezing it as a storage method.
Yeah. I still go to water bladder guy for day hiking and trail running and stuff like that. I would just way prefer it. But yeah, I've never once thought about that. It's a good thought.
Do you ever clean it? Like, do you put paper towels in it?
No, definitely not. I'll do my best to remember to empty it out when I get home. Don't always do the best with that. I'll let it sit with dish soap. I don't think I've ever seen any visible mold, so
yeah,
I'm not too concerned with it. But maybe that speaks to my reduced cognitive capacity, is all of the live microorganisms I've been drinking.
I had 2 of those squeezy water bottles for my vest for when I ran the marathon, and when I got back from the marathon, I threw it in a corner and never looked at it again.
Yeah.
And I found one of those water bottles, and man, that thing is all mold.
Yeah.
Like straight to the trash. It was not cute.
Yeah. We do have the benefit of living in a very dry place, so as long as you make a moderate effort to just dump out the water, I feel like maybe it's okay, but I don't know.
Yeah. I know when I worked at the camp, they would put boiling water and baking soda into Nalgene's as a way, because if you have all your stickers on your Nalgene's, you don't want to put it through the dishwasher because it'll ruin your stickers.
Yeah.
So that became a problem for me when I was Nalgene girl, and the solution that I learned from the camp cook was boiling water and baking soda will get out any smell. But I wouldn't put boiling water into a water bladder.
Yeah. I'm just weird about boiling water and plastic in general. I'm sure it's fine inside of a Nalgene, but I don't know. I would do it in a dire situation camping.
You're not
Just-
drinking it.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but I'm just worried about the leaching.
Yeah.
Because like for a long time, the conventional wisdom was that you could put boiling water inside of a Ziploc bag, and that always rubbed me the wrong way. And then we did an article on it, but there was some like toxicologist is like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't put boiling water in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but apparently people do that.
Interesting.
So I'm just weird about that with plastic in general. But
Sure.
I'm sure it's fine inside of an Nalgene. Don't take
Hot water with baking soda probably also
Yeah.
does the same thing.
Yeah. Don't take my neuroses as well thought out science here. I'm very excited for this, and you get full credit for this one.
Yep.
Triple crown of chairs.
Yep. I want to start.
Yeah. I have enough here that I'm not concerned. But go ahead.
You just love chairs.
Sitting is nice. Sitting's real, except for it's not. I hate being on a. I won't even say it. We can get to it.
Okay.
But being on a flight sucks.
Yeah. That's not one of my favorite chairs. Is
No.
an airplane chair.
No, not in my top 3.
No. My first one's gonna be the good old recliner.
Yeah, that was number 1 for me.
Yeah. I love a recliner. Any type.
It's rude of you to take that from the dad in the room, but
Yeah. I mean, I love the recliner that's like a leather recliner and like kind of worn in a little bit. But
Yeah.
then I also love like the old grandma recliner where it's like carpeted essentially.
Sure.
And like very fat arm things and like smells like 30 years of use.
yeah.
And, but it's just like you could fall asleep so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Our living room isn't big enough for a recliner in addition to the couch that we have already. And I feel like I'm being deprived of like, it's the best part about being a dad is the leather reclining tray with a drink holder in
Yeah.
it. Like, this is where I don't fit any of this chair. I'm not good at napping. I want to sleep in that chair, even though I probably won't. I want to consume 9 straight hours of football on Sunday in that chair, have 3 beers, and just like let life pass me by in that chair.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great, perhaps obvious pick, but good job. We're going to get more creative with the rest of these. I'm going to go with my first pick, whatever bathroom you use the most often, that toilet. It's not like something that is the most comfortable, obviously. We don't use padded toilet seats or anything like that. But especially with very active kids in the house, it's like one of the few places where I get just silence. I can scroll Twitter or X or whatever. I have a new football game I play on my phone, which I'll do during poops, and then my legs will go numb. Just the positive associations of sitting on the toilet and just having a little bit of quiet space, like that's my nirvana right there.
Yeah, it's Garrett's favorite room in the house.
Yeah.
When we were on the honeymoon, a number of the places we stayed had heated toilet seats, and like you didn't know until you sat down, and then you're like, oh, but it feels kind of nice.
We had that at an Airbnb recently. It was a little too much for me. I couldn't figure out how to adjust the temperature. And
Too hot?
I went to pee in the middle of the night. I pee sitting down at night because I pass out, and it was like a little too intense for 2 a.m. But I could understand the appeal for sure.
Yeah.
Next pick, I'm going to go with a booth at a restaurant.
Ooh, yeah. Give me the booth seat.
Yeah, like the butterflies. Every time they take us to a table, I'm always like, can we sit in the booth here instead? I'm a big booth
I'll
guy.
always ask for the booth.
Yeah, booth is nice. You can slide around. I don't think I've ever been in a booth I didn't like.
Yeah.
A booth, like the cushy leather seats, is just the nicest. So yeah, I think specifically I'm thinking of a Mexican restaurant when I'm picturing a booth, but it can be any booth.
I feel like all booths are pretty similar.
Yeah, I just like the ambiance of Mexican music and like chips and salsa. But yeah, all
Fair.
booths are good.
My next one I'm going with is going to be a porch swing that has cushions. A cushioned porch swing.
Yeah.
And not something where the railing of the porch or the wall of the porch is right behind the swing. Like, come on. The swing is meant to swing a little bit. Like if nothing's worse than having a swinging chair and you can't really swing because you're just banging into something,
The change just for show doesn't actually do anything.
But to get one of those just fat cushioned porch chairs with a nice breeze going and you push off and you get a good swing going that just stays for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love that chair.
Yeah. Get a nice little fall breeze.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. My next one. Oh, this is hard. I'm going to have honorable mentions. My next one is any chair with a lever that goes up and down. I love when you're sitting on a chair that can go up and down and you forget and then you find the lever. Like my desk chair, every now and then I'll pull the lever and it'll go up. And I always think if I'm always pulling it, like making it go up, it should be at the highest. But every now and then,
I don't even know where I'm at with this one.
I just think when you pull the lever and the chair goes up, it's kind of fun.
Oh, no. Now I'm low. I don't know how to get it back.
Oh, when it goes low, that's the worst.
Shit.
Yeah, sorry.
Now I'm at Chaunc's level.
It's terrible. Yeah, specifically like when you have a lever chair and you could just like crank the chair up. It's something about that's real fun. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I think I'm back. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
A good computer chair is very nice.
Or like the one where it's like the and it goes up.
Yeah.
Like you're inflating it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Those chairs get so fucking expensive. Like the high end.
Oh yeah.
I forget the name of the brand. David Sherman.
I mean, there's math involved in them.
Yeah.
You know, that's science.
They get very ergonomic for sure. For my last pick, I will also have honorable mentions.
I've got so many.
I'm gonna go with a leather bucket seat in a car, like an SUV with a seat heater.
Yeah.
I love the feeling of getting into a cold car and then like a few minutes later your ass starts to get warm and you've got the dual armrests. Like I can road trip in that for a while for sure.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Honorable mentions.
Massage chair.
Yes.
A massage chair.
Yeah, why don't people own more massage chairs? I feel like that's always you're at like the Sharper Image, or we went to the Jump House in South Golden recently, and it's literally just like a bunch of play area for kids, and then they have a row of, you have to pay for it, but massage chairs behind, so like parents will just sit back in the massage chairs while their kids are running around chaotically. I didn't take advantage of it, but I thought about it.
The trail angel we stayed with on the Ozark Highlands Trail had a massage chair that he named Bertha, and we just took turns in Bertha the whole night.
Massage chair is real nice. That's a good call. A little funky, but the Game of Thrones throne.
Ooh, a throne.
Yeah.
It's a great chair.
Yeah.
Dangerous chair.
Feel powerful.
I'm sure you are powerful if you're sitting in it.
You have to be.
Or soon to be dead.
Yeah. I feel like Cersei in that.
A rocking chair.
Yeah.
Again, just
Old
the
school,
movement.
Wooden.
Or a swivel chair. Just something I can fidget in.
Yeah.
Is good.
Kind of bending the rules here, but the chase on a leather couch, like the extended portion.
Yeah.
That's you can fully get comfortable in that. It's kind of close to a recliner, but you don't have the versatility.
No, because I can't unrecline.
Yeah, you're stuck in the lay down position, but that's a nice one.
A bean bag. Sophisticated.
Yeah. I was more into that as a kid. I think it's less appealing for me now because it wasn't a bean bag, it was like a cheaper version of it, like little styrofoam.
Well, the bean bag to human ratio has to be right, because a lot of bean bags now aren't comfortable, but when I was, half my size, was comfortable because the bean bag was thus twice the size. But for adult size, like a Love Sack, one of those bean bags, I used to just go to that store in the mall to just lay in one.
Yeah.
Because I thought this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. My cousins had bean bags and we'd sit in the basement and play video games down there. Good memories of that, for sure.
We used to play hide and seek, and like best hiding spot I would go into the skin of the bean bag and it would be me and the bean bag in there. And then the bad part about that would be when my brother and his friends would figure out I was in the beanbag, they would run and jump onto the beanbag, and that would just knock all the air out of you and hurt. Yeah. But then you're stuck in there with weight.
Yeah.
Other chairs.
Like a business class seat, international. When Jen and I did our honeymoon, we did that, and obviously it's very nice that they'll go to the lay flat. Like you can actually get sleep, and that is a game changer by itself. But there's just something about being in first class. Like they bring over champagne as soon as you sit down. Like the whole experience is you feel incredibly pampered.
Yeah.
It's been rare in my life, but it's fun.
Yeah. In those instances, that is nice.
Yeah.
I would also say the last seat is a good seat.
Like on a bus or something?
Yeah, like if you're getting on the train or a bus or something like that, and there's one seat, and it's not like a gross middle seat that you're going to ignore, but it's just like a good seat, and it's the last one, and you get to sit in it. And it's like, this might not be comfortable, but I'm so glad I don't need to stand for like the hour you were on that bus at the Tour de Mont Blanc.
The movie theater seats at like the Alamo, like those are
the recliners that heat
extra
up,
wide, and they'll like bring food out to you.
That's nice.
That's living.
That's a good chair.
That's living. I know you have that movie theater membership. The last movie I saw in theaters is funny. Avatar 2.
Ooh.
I think it came out in 2022. That was the last time I've been in a movie theater.
I saw one battle after another on Saturday. It's
Oh,
Leo.
yeah. I've heard that's really good.
I thought it was fine.
Okay.
It felt like the entire movie was working towards the plot, and then it ended.
Mm.
Like, it felt like I was, like, journeying to the plot the entire movie. It was one of those. And then it was just like, okay, cool, here's the credits.
Mm. I'm a big Leo guy.
Yeah.
So I'll see anything, but it's a bummer that it didn't rock your world.
I mean, we went to see it after two of our friends said it was the best movie they ever saw.
Yeah, you got to go in with no expectations.
So, to some, it was great.
Yeah. Okay. So it's somewhere between the best movie you've ever seen and meh.
It was a one and done for me.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I think that's all my cheers.
Yep.
Let us do a mailbag.
Mailbag. Hi, Zach and Johns. I live in Washington State and love hiking the PCT as a section hiker and or weekend warrior. I recently did a quick trip north from Chinook Pass, and this time of year there are tons of through hikers on trail. I was settled into my tent for the night already when a trail family rolled up to set up camp. I was mostly reading a book in my sleeping bag, but couldn't help but overhear one of them talking about BPR. She had a ton of praise for the podcast and talked about how it helped her hype her up for her through hike and gave her great tips to help make it a successful journey. She also said she met Jabba at Trail Days and was starstruck, LOL. Just wanted to share that story so you could see the awesome impact you guys have on the hiking community. Even us, quote-unquote, just a section hikers, get a ton of fabulous knowledge from the show. Keep up the good work, from Mandy.
Thanks, Mandy.
Thanks, Mandy.
That's
That was
very
nice.
5-star review. We don't have anyone. We don't have anything.
We're in the lull where we called it out, but the call-outs
Yeah.
haven't aired yet.
Yeah, we've recorded a lot of episodes in the last few weeks, and
Yeah.
it's the dearth of 5-star reviews. So if you're listening to this, you better give us a review because we need something to
Put us out of our misery.
Yeah.
Leave us one.
Yeah.
The pity one.
Yeah. So Apple Podcasts, leave us any number of stars.
Not 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah. Screenshot it, send the review, podcast@thetrek.co, and we will send you a sticker.
Yep. It's the only way to get a sticker.
Super big thank you to our Chuck Norris Award winners on Patreon. That is Alex and Misty with Navigators Crafting, Andrew, Austin McDaniel, Bill Jensen, Brad and Blair from 13 Adventures, Brian Alsop,
Fables.
Carl Hood, Christopher Marshburn, Clint Sittler, Coach from Marion Outdoors, Eric Casper,
Friendly Ghost.
Eric Hoffman, Ethan Harwell Dunn, Jillian Daniels, Go Bills,
Go Bills.
Greg Knight, Greg Martin, Griffin Hay, would you bring me a beer? Haley Buckingham,
Dallas.
Matt from Gilbert, Arizona, Patrick Ciancialo, Rebecca Brave,
Hart.
Rural.
Heart? Did we say heart there?
Yeah, that was supposed to be me, and
Okay.
I fucked it up. Rural Juror, Sawyer Parks, Spam, the St. Louis Shaman, Timothy Hahn,
Solo.
and Tracy Trigger.
Puns.
Thanks to our guy, Polly.
Polly.
I'm getting tired, man.
Roly poly.
Been a long day. Thanks to Polly at Old Man Murph's Coffee Roasters. Go to ommcr.com. Get yourself some delicious beans. You can follow us on social at Backpacker Radio on Instagram and TikTok, at Backpacker Pod on X, Facebook.com/Backpacker Radio. You can follow Chance.
You can find me on Instagram at Juliana_Chauncey and on YouTube at Juliana Chauncey. And you can get my book, Hiking from Home, a long-distance hiking guide for family and friends, on Amazon.
Subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Oh, yeah. Appalachian Trials, Pacific Crest Trials.
We'd love a
Chance's
review.
book. Leave us a review. Follow us on YouTube.
Hi, Internet.
What's up, YouTube? That's it. Thank you so much for listening. And